Hello, we are here for another Wednesday. I think microphone's working. Test, test, 1, 2.
Sorry, what was that?
You shut up. Orgasm with a 31 resub, 13 months. For scam. But thank you very much. Right, so Wednesday, Curse of Strahd. Obviously, last week we had an interesting session with the old Curse of Strahds. Good news for this week and forevermore on a Wednesday. Mr. Roastin' Chicken, aka Adok the Grey, will be with us every week, as he will be finishing doing days. I think you're finishing like 4 o'clock your time most days. Yeah.
Yeah, I told them, I tried to get Wednesdays and both Sundays. Unfortunately, they said no, go for the weekends. But Wednesday, they said, yes, we can make sure that you are out at 4 o'clock on the dot, except for today. It was 5 o'clock. So.
It's all good. I mean, hey, we can work with sort of 10, 15, 20 minutes outside. It doesn't really matter. But even half an hour is not a huge issue. But at least we don't have to worry about not having Cameron here for an entire show, which means I don't have to play Strahd anymore because Cameron can do it. and also I don't have to fill in for Adok, so I don't make any decisions that he probably wouldn't make, which can always be an issue when you have sort of random people jumping in playing PCs from time to time. But, so, I suppose without any further ado, we should get into tonight's episode and find out what's going to happen to Emilia, because we all know what happened last week. So, we will start our music. There to go.
She better hope the devil's going to save her.
I think the music's running. Hopefully chat can hear everybody. So, recap. So last we left off, our heroes had become aware of one of their number had disappeared once again. Zadriel, using her divine abilities, senses that she could be outside, somewhere close. Zadriel leaves the room. Eventually the rest of you do follow. And as you descend the exterior stairwell, you see a young woman approaching, dressed eeringly similar to Emilia. She glances at you as she enters the inn. Being suspicious of this woman, you all decide to head in to the inn and question her. Skathis initiates a conversation, but this woman seems to ignore him and moves directly to Zadriel. After a brief conversation, Zadriel, suspicious still, casts his own of truth to ensure that any deception is caught, being unsure of the woman's intentions. She eventually introduces herself as Emilia, Emilia's sister. She informs you of the letters that she has been asked to deliver, and is eventually, after a bit of back and forward, you decide to move this to Emilia's room for a more private discussion, which starts with Zadriel and Emilia alone. But after a brief discussion, Zadriel invites the remainder of the party into the room and reads these letters and wanted posters, as it seems. The wanted posters seem to name the entirety of the group except for Adok, who obviously wasn't there at the beginning at the Cragshaven Inn. These letters pertain to a situation that Emilia may have been kidnapped, and her mother has issued these wanted posters in order to get revenge or to return Emilia to her. Suspicions run high with the rest of the group, and Adok, not convinced, pushes the issue. And after some time, it's decided that maybe it's time to head out to catch up with Emilia and help her rid this demon once and for all. With that, Zadriel stabs Emilia with a paralyzing dart, who seems to fall into paralysis. Zadriel picks her up, throws her over her shoulder, and you all proceed out of the inn, heading towards the north, as you've been told that Emilia may be hunting down one Vasily von Holt. You are stopped by a patrol briefly, inquiring as to why you were carrying a body over your shoulder. Upon presenting the writ you've been given by the Baron and a brief explanation, they seem satisfied that you are aiding this woman get to her home. A short time later, however, Emilia transforms into a draft horse, almost not really crushing Zadriel, but dropping Zadriel to her knees, and attempts to make her escape. You all react with violence and force, not in an attempt to kill this individual, but to stop her from getting away. A crossbow is fired, Fibble fires his rifle, Adok his blowgun, and Zadriel starts to make haste towards Emilia at this point. Skathis then, using Step of the Wind, manages to get in front of Emilia and stops her abruptly with a rather vicious sidekick, knocking her to the ground and knocking her wig off in the process, revealing that this person is in fact Emilia, your teammate, as it were, or your so you thought your friend. During the scuffle and the obvious loud report of Charlotte the rifle, the Valachian guard is alerted to something going on and approach. Unsure of what's happening, they decide to detain all of you in an attempt to get to the bottom of this particular situation, considering as they approach, Emilia is clearly injured and crying kidnap. And so as they approach the Valachian city jail, Zadriel attempts to destroy the letters that were given to her, which are rather incriminating in some respects, but unfortunately is caught in the act. Is then stripped of her weapons and shackled, as is Emilia. You are kept separate. You are all escorted to the city jail, where you are placed into separate cells, Emilia and Zadriel. The rest of you are placed into a single cell. Before sleep takes you, Zadriel calls out to each of her party members and gets a relative response from some. Has a brief conversation with Nikolai Vakta, who still is remaining in his cell with his brother, who has not been able to recover from the paralyzing dart that was used on him, but he seems open to a conversation in the future about a potential alliance. As we now rejoin our heroes, all still in the cells, most of you now have started to drift off and find sleep. Adok is in a dream state for an hour before he eventually finds sleep. But we rejoin Emilia now as a strange mist starts to form in the rear of her cell. And we'll now hand over to Cameron.
Emilia, as this mist encapsulates and forms through the entire jail cell that you're in, you start to see a tall, what seems to be athletic outline deep in the mist. And a familiar voice reaches out to you. Ah, my dear Emilia, how nice it is to see you again. This figure then approaches through the mist, and as this figure hearts through, you see none other than Strahd von Zarovich himself, wearing a maroon doublet with gold trimmings, jet black hair slicked back, adorned with a black and red cape hung over his left shoulder.
Emilia will stand. She'll curtsy. She'll look at Strahd and she'll say, "Have you come to save me, Lord Strahd?"
My dear, I have come for many a thing, but it is up to you. The saving is in your answers, not mine. What do you seek? Stand, take my hand. And he gives you his hand.
Emilia will take his hand and then she'll try and hug him. Like, full hug, your choice for the urine.
He does so, does not move. He allows you to wrap your hands around him. Do you require my assistance? Have I?
Sorry.
No, it is my fault, my dear. I should not interrupt someone such as yourself. A beauty such as yours. Go on.
You would offer me your assistance, even though I have not completed the task you have sent for me.
See, there is one catch. I need some form of assurance, a test of your alliance. Have it will. Are you with me, or are you still with them? I did not warn you before, have I not? That they would not understand what you are.
Do you know what I am? Or, let me rephrase, do you know what I was before I met one of your men?
What you were before is not of the matter. It is what you will become by my side. That is what is most important. You must understand. Emilia, you, my dear, are destined for greatness. By my side, with my hand. If you stay here with these people, surely you will perish.
Is there a way that you know of for me to become what I was before? I know that is not what you would ask, not what you would be willing to tell. But I might as well ask anyway.
There are many things that I have learned over time. There are many things that I still do not understand, my dear. But rest assured, together we can find the answers.
Do you know what my mother was?
Why do you ask this of me? What does it matter? You are trapped, are you not? Your party mistrusting you, on the verge of deciding your fate, have it will. I come to you in an hour of need, and you question me about matters that are not yet important to the right now. I come to you. I ask you once again, whose allegiance do you serve? Are you with them, or are you with me?
I'll take that as a yes. So, here's the thing. As much as you're a nice person, and as much as I find you attractive, If you are willing to come to me, knowing what my family was, without me completing the task you have asked of me, without me even trying to complete the task you asked of me, then I am nothing but a prize to you, rather than a partner. You asked me to complete a task to prove my worthiness of you, but I fear that you are not worthy of me.
I would behold your tongue, young lass, before it bite its own head off. You are to question me of my worthiness to one such as you. I, Strahd von Zerovich, you question me.
And it is in this moment, just a brief moment, as he says his name, you hear that Slavic accent, quite thick, come through just for a moment. His eyes blaze in anger, even change colour just slightly from a deep brown to a burning red, and then back again. As he speaks his name, you notice his incisors, his canines, just slightly bit longer than the rest, as he flashes just a glimpse of his teeth at you. It is surprising, not overly intimidating at this point, but definitely you'd know you've had a nerve.
To this, Emilia will smile. She will say, my family has fought the demons. They have fought your kind, and we are still here. The only one who has tainted me was a lower of your rank, someone who betrayed you. Would you not say he is more powerful than you?
At this moment, as quick as lightning, Strahd pulls you just inches from his face, and you hear him say, Drisco diete. You have no idea what you are saying. Think before you speak. This is your last warning. Have I not welcomed you into my lands? No. You, your people. I offer you, I invite you into my home. No? What more do you want from me? I give you a gift. No? Have I not? Tell me.
If you know what I am and what my mother is, you will know that you will never separate me from my goddess. I'm surprised you bothered to try at all. I will take my chances in my party. If they end me, I will be with my queen. But I am of the light. You are of the dark. The demons cannot take me. The humans cannot take me. The vampires will not take me.
It's at this moment that you feel standing inches away from this man, the air itself start to thicken. You feel as if gravity itself is working against you. You feel a murderous intent start to boil and seethe. from one such as himself. But yet, his eyes does not change. He stares deeply into your soul. And he then says, Emilia, the days of your people, welcome in my lands, are no longer. The events that are soon to follow are those that I would not wish on my worst enemy. And it's at that moment that you feel a sudden rush of mist as it engulfs Strahd himself and you and pushes all out across your eyesight, and you can't see anything more.
And a few moments later, your vision clarifies, and you're still standing in the center of your cell by yourself, with a distinct feeling that you have just really, really pissed off a very, very powerful man indeed. Eventually, sleep does come to you, albeit I would imagine that even with Emilia's defiance, the words of Strahd ringing in your ears and in your thoughts, probably thinking, oh shit. But at the same time, feeling probably a little bit better about herself and standing defiant against such a monstrous entity.
Before Emilia sleeps, the floor of the cell is dirt, right?
Yes.
She'll basically scratch into the dirt the symbol of her goddess.
Yep.
The seven stars with two eyes in the middle, and she'll curl up and go to sleep in the middle of it.
No problem. So during the course of the evening, you all gain the benefits of a long rest. Adok, you, after your initial dream state from your pie wears off, you do come to, and by that stage, most other people have probably started to go to sleep. And you too eventually do find sleep. However, your sleep is fraught with dreams, memory flashes from your time here in Barovia. Different memories come to you that just haven't been there before. Whether it was the pie, whether it was the current situation, but just a whole bunch of flashes come to you over the course of the evening. In the morning, you are all woken eventually by one of the guards sort of banging on the door. Gang, is everybody awake? It is time to talk to the captain. So this will be on the door with the four of you and Skathis, Fibble, Karnos, and Adok at this point. The rest of you probably hear the bangs and that, and you probably hear voices from yourselves, but they approach your cell first. He sort of, the door, little creaky door, opens and he peers through. He says, "All right, get up. We'll collect you in a moment. We'll be going to see the captain, Captain Alexei. We'll have a talk to you about the evening's doings and see if we can come to some form of reasoning why we shouldn't expel you from the town. But get ready." And eventually he goes around and bangs on all the cells. As you guys are led out, Zadriel, as the guard opens your door, you are greeted with two guard coming in side by side with shackles. And the younger of the two, looks like he's probably not long been in the guard, but you can see he's a little nervous. But the older of the two goes, "It's all right. Please, if you will, turn it on so we may shackle you for yours and our safety."
Is it necessary? Really?
This is necessary due to actions from previous evening and from previous encounter with you. Some of the guard are a little afraid.
I lay my hands out, like, oh, behind me, yeah.
In front's fine. You see, you get the impression that he's not like he definitely doesn't hold a grudge against you, but he is following orders, and he says in front is okay. It's all right. This is just a formal, not a trial. It's just a mediation of some description to find out what happened. And because of tensions between you and your friend, we must take precautions. So he shackles your hands in the front of you, and you are led, flanked by these two guards. Emilia, you are the same. Two guards into your cell and politely ask you to put your hands out so you may be shackled. Do you offer any resistance?
Emilia happily sticks her hands out for her.
So you are also shackled. The rest of you are not shackled. You are just led out, flanked by 4 guard, and led out upstairs to the front of the guardhouse where your weapons were confiscated the previous time you were here and the previous evening. Standing behind the row of tables is a tall, about 6'2", broad-shouldered human man, greying hair, a goatee, quite a long sort of goatee. You can see by his armor that he holds some form of rank, and he waves the guard in, and you're all sort of lined up in front of these tables. All your items are laid out on the table in front of you. He is holding several pieces of paper in his hands, and he looks at you all and he says, "All right, firstly, my name is Captain Alexei. I am captain of Valachian City Guard. I report directly to Isaac and the Baron. This is not a trial, so you do not need to feel persecuted. We are merely trying to discover what caused the events of last evening and why it was necessary for you to act violently in the public street, causing a disturbance, if you will. We have obviously had dealings with you in the past. You are working for the Baron at the current moment as well, which is why it is unusual that you be causing a ruckus in town. So, who wish to address me first? Who wish to explain what has happened and why?
Emilia will take a step forward and say, "If I may, this is my fault."
Wow, this ought to be good.
Yeah, as soon as she says that, Adult will say, like, anyone can explain what happened besides her first. She's crazy. She's got.
He holds his hand up, and as Emily was the first to sort of take a step forward, and he says, "I understand there is some tension here, but everyone will get a chance to say their piece before I make a decision. Please, go ahead."
This is all my fault.
Good start, yeah.
I have serious trust issues. I tested my friends, or tested the group, because it is a test I've done before to test if people are loyal to me, and it is a harsh test, but I have reasons to fear being outed because of my family's history. Under my pillow in my bedroom, there is a letter there which will explain all of this. Actually, there's 2 letters there, but I will explain it to you anyway. My test is 5 simple steps. It's basically I write the fake letters that insinuate that I am tied to demons. That tests out if any of the parties are demon themselves. They will probably expose themselves to me as being a demon. I'll pretend to be someone I'm not. Act as suspicious as I can, but not be very resistant. I give them the letters, which I say are from someone else, in order to judge their reactions. If I trust their things, then I'll stay. If I don't trust them, then I run.
So
And
you
then-
are saying that these letters that indicating the people in this room as being kidnappers and otherwise a dubious character is not real, it is fake. You wrote them yourself, yes?
I wrote them myself. They are not true.
God, please, come forward. Remove your shackles for a moment. Do not try and run. You will be killed before you reach the door. But, please, take this quill and ink and write for me what I ask you to write. And he hands you a piece of parchment, ink and quill, and asks you to write down, I, Emilia, am responsible for the writing of these letters.
And Emilia will write that what he says.
And he says, now please step back. And he picks up the parchment and you can see him comparing handwriting. And he gives a bit of a nod and you can see him sort of going over it. And he then places the letters down, turns them around facing the rest of you, pushes them forward so that you can all see them. And he says, well, it seems that at least that part is truthful. As you can see, the handwriting is the same. Now, is there anyone else that wishes to speak to this incident and why violence erupted in the town last evening?
Because she keeps on fucking lying.
He's right, I do.
Yeah, he's not wrong at all.
So a lie constitutes shooting someone with an arrow and shooting someone with whatever that is.
I shot a horse. I didn't shoot somebody, I shot a horse.
Wait a minute. There was no horse.
So,
Sorry,
may I? No, what were you saying?
turned into the horse.
Yeah,
I have
right.
the ability to shapeshift into animals.
Ah,
So-
yes. Similar to the
Werewolf.
yes, but I know I have heard of druid. I know what a druid is. You are a druid, yes?
I am druid, yes.
This explains. Is there any other explanation that needs to be offered? By the sounds of it, this is merely a finable offence, and we will let you go. You are to deal with this on your own, amongst yourself. Please do not erupt the violence in the town. If you wish to deal with this in a violent manner, take it outside of the city.
Sorry, mate. Oh, I don't. Go ahead, mate.
No, I will say, if you let us take it into matters into our own hand, she probably will end up dead. Just saying. I
If
won't
it is
get-
outside of the city, I really do not care.
Great.
And just in our defence, Mr. Captain, at the point we were chasing and attacking her, she was in a wig, disguise. We thought she'd actually stolen our friend's clothes and had done something bad with our friend. We weren't 100% sure what was going on, and I apologise for the ruckus.
As I say, it seems this is a misunderstanding and something that needs to be dealt with among friends. And I use the term friend loosely in this moment, as it seems that there's a lot of tension in this room right now. And he looks directly at you, Zadriel, when he says that. As Zadriel has said nothing at this point, has remained very tight-lipped and really doesn't have a look of friendship on her face at all. He turns to you directly, Zadriel, and says, now, if my God are to remove shackles, will you promise not to do anything stupid until you are out of town? You will be watched.
I promise to wait till I'm out of town.
This is good enough for me. If you are, we have to find you. You must understand. Even with new laws Baron is offering, we must be seen to be upholding with everybody, even those that are in service of the Baron. So, it is my decree that you are, as a group, not individually, as a group, to be fined 50 gold pieces for disturbing the peace. And this will be the end of it. If you are breaking law again, a penalty might be a little bit more severe. But I think this is fair. If you wish to discuss amongst yourselves how to pay, but it is up to you. But as a group, you will pay 50 gold pieces before you are to retrieve your gear.
It's quite alright.
I believe he's the one with the money.
I got that covered, everybody. If everyone's happy with that, I have that covered.
No.
Emilia should pay.
Yeah, I for one, and I'm with Fibble.
Am I still in shackles?
At the moment, yes.
Emilia, do you have the current gold currency to pay this?
If I had 50 gold, I would pay it. But I don't know.
I put my hands forward to take off the shackles. I'll pay the gold.
It's quite alright, Zadriel. I have it covered if you need.
The captain steps forward and removes your shackles himself. But as he does so, he removes the shackles and grabs you by the wrist. Not like aggressively, but just gently. Gives you a look and says, remember your promise. And then steps back behind the table. You get the impression he fully understands where you're at right now. And he can see the disappointment in your face. And the boiling blood that's just under the surface there. So, who pays the 50 gold? So Zadriel, you step forward and retrieve your pack. You remove 50 gold from your inventory and you hand it over to one of the guards takes it from you. And the captain then turns and waves the rest of there was other guard in the room, he waves him out and just says to you all, thank you for your cooperation and please try and enjoy the rest of your day. And keep out of trouble, yes?
I can speak for all of us when I say we'll probably be going out the town gate for a chat.
And you see him he nods and a little bit of a smirk. He knows exactly that. Yeah, as long as it's not in the city, he's fine. He doesn't really care. You collect all of your items. You collect your backpacks. You collect your weapons. You still had your armor and stuff with you, but just your weapons, your backpacks and things. And you are escorted out of the jailhouse once more. and you are now standing in the street out the front of the jailhouse.
Before Fibble leaves, he'll go through everything just to make sure it's all there.
Roll a perception check. First roll of the night.
Carlos just checks weight.
Yeah, you seem pretty even.
Emily is only carrying a wig.
Yeah, because Emily had Emily had nothing else with her.
9.
9. You're pretty certain it's there. It seems to be all there.
Feels about right.
Okay. I'm gonna leave.
So you're now all standing out the front of Valakian City Jail. The tension is still relatively high, I would imagine, at this point. Emilia, I would imagine the group have probably separated themselves from you just a touch. And are probably all standing in front of you, looking at you at this point. Or you tell me what you guys are doing. How are you guys standing? What are you guys doing at this moment?
Walking towards the gate.
Agreed. Definitely agreed.
I don't suppose we could go have a drink about this.
Oh no.
Obviously, I've got some explaining to do.
Yep, and you can explain it at the gate.
Also agreed.
Does Emilia follow the group to the gate?
I feel like we're hurting her.
Yeah, they would definitely. It'd be kind of like a horseshoe thing going on. They're sort of pushing you in a general direction, passively aggressively at this point, I would imagine.
No, it looked like the Omega symbol.
Yeah.
Zadriel's just walking.
Carlos seen Zadriel, and obviously she'd be fuming, I still assume.
I think it's up to Zadriel. How obvious do you think her anger would be at this point?
I think Zadriel would look very calm and unusually quiet and just walking ahead.
Tapping her warhammer in her palm of her hand.
People would be looking at her going, "Oh, she's pissed."
Fibble probably would understand more than anybody how she probably is feeling. The rest of you would, yeah, she's showing a fairly calm exterior and is very, very quiet, which would definitely ring alarm bells for anyone that has an intelligence over 11 or 12. If you're under sort of intelligence 12, you probably wouldn't really pick it up so much.
Zadriel, if you don't mind me saying, and you don't have to speak back, I can see what's going on. If you don't mind me saying, a friend test is actually generally, it's practical, right? It makes sense. You want to test people and know how to trust them. And once we get out the gate, I have just the test. So when we get there, I'll explain, and we can do the same test to Miss Emilia right here. Fair? I think that's fair.
A friend test?
Yeah.
Do you have friend tests, Carlos?
Yeah, I do, yeah. So when if someone tests me, well, I mean, once we get out the gate, I'll show you. It's easy.
Hang on. So you're not saying that us combating the evil things that we've seen in that house with those two ghost women, keeping each other alive, that wasn't like test enough?
Oh, absolutely. I totally trusted everyone, but young Emilia here, and Emilia, I don't wish for you to speak, so just hush it. She has definitely taken the friend test to the next limit. When you are at each other's backs, Mr. I mean, we don't all get on perfectly. Zadriel and me don't see eye to eye all the time, but I would not hurt her in the way that we have been hurt by Miss Emilia. So we are at the point now where we need to test. I don't know that, Scafus, you don't trust her anymore, do you?
No, I don't.
Adok, you don't trust Emilia anymore either, do you?
Does it look like I've trusted her ever, like once?
No. Mr. Stibb, your trust would be wavering, I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, and Zadriel, I mean, do I need to ask?
Zadriel keeps walking.
Yeah. So we're at the point where no one trusts her anymore. Yeah, a day ago or 2 days ago when we were trying to sort out the young Vakta boys, we all put total trust in each other. We have lost that overnight. Therefore, I believe the next test is due. If she wishes to test us, we must test her.
And he doesn't
Just
care
let-
that she's walking alongside.
Yeah. I mean,
Just let it be known.
You go ahead.
Just let it be known that I've constantly questioned everybody. I don't really trust a lot of people. I'm growing. No. Emilia, never. Not once, ever. I think I've said something about that, like multiple times, haven't I not?
Oh yeah, totally agree.
I like to work from the idea of I trust you, but you cross me, I don't trust you. And I don't trust her. I don't think any test would change it the other way straight away.
I'll tell you what, you let me know once the test is over.
Okay, I put your test through the test. Let's test.
So I would imagine at this point, as Jax so pointedly pointed out in the chat before, I didn't even realise it until now, Emilia is unarmed. So you have 5 heavily armed individuals escorting an unarmed individual towards the city gate. I doubt very much she's going to try and resist. She's also unarmed as well. I will leave it up to Emilia. Are you going along with your group at this point? I mean, they would be kind of hurting you in a passive-aggressive manner.
Emily is not going to put up any resistance.
Okay. So after about 45 minutes to an hour or so, you eventually make it to the eastern gate, the gate that you have used before to exit and enter Vallaki. The guards there unlock the gate and allow you to exit. They don't really think much of anything at this point. And you are now standing outside of the city of Vallaki. The gate is closed and locked behind you. The wolf heads that were on pikes out here have been cleared by the looks of it. A couple of new ones have been put up. Obviously, old ones by now have started to get a bit putrid and smelly. So they've been removed, and you can see a few new ones have gone up with fresh wolf heads on them.
So, easy enough to get through the gates. They let us out.
Yep. They've let you outside. You are currently outside.
Once outside, Karnal says, right, we just need to find a tree stump. There's plenty of bushery around here. We just need a stump of a tree for the first part of the test.
Looking for a tree stump.
Perception.
Oh yeah, that's right. I roll on this thing.
I assist.
With advantage. Roll again, Karnos.
Yep.
Percepticum. I just closed the screen. That was all.
Yeah, no, we'll take the first one.
Yeah. And I'd say Fibble with a 22. Yeah, we'll it'll take you a little while, but you do find a suitable stump that would serve whatever purpose you have need for at this point. It takes you about 10 or 15 minutes to find it. It's not completely into the woods, it's just off the road, maybe 30 feet off the side of the road into the forest.
Sweet. So Karnos sort of directs the group to sort of make a circle around the tree stump, except for Emilia, like as best they can, like five-part circle. And he directs Emilia sort of to the front of the stump. And he says, right, and he puts his bag down and his shield down on the ground, and he pulls out 4 platinum coins. He puts 2 platinum coins on top of the stump, sort of about 30 mil apart, 40 mil apart, and he puts the other 2 platinum coins on the opposite side of the stump on the ground, as flat as he can, on the grass, I guess. And he says to Emilia,
it'd be more of a dirt ground around this old stump. Be very little grass, be kind of patchy.
and he looks to everyone, he goes,
everyone happy? No one wants to interject or whatever?
Got no idea.
I'm testing your test, so I don't know.
What are you doing?
What's the test?
I'm very wondering what the hell's he doing.
This is good. Stay in the circle. We can't break the circle. Emilia, you must get down your knees at the edge of the stump as best you can. Do you comply?
Does Emilia comply?
Yes. tad confused about what's going on. Just like Russell.
Facing the stump or facing away from the stump, Carnos?
Facing the stump.
Facing the stump. So, Emilia, you take a knee or you kneel facing this stump.
And he says, right, you see the 2 coins on the stump?
Yes.
And can you see the 2 coins over the stump?
You would be able to see them. They'd be just within your vision with the size of the stump. I'm assuming it's not a massive stump.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking, I don't know, a foot by
across.
foot,
Yeah,
something
so you'd
like
definitely
that,
be able to see this. He would have placed them in a position that you'd be able to see them.
Right. So now, the idea is, if you truly are a friend of ours, you're going to try and pick up one of the 4 coins with either squinting your eyes or with your mouth. If you can pick up one, then you can move on to the next one, but you cannot pick up more than 1 coin at once. So you lean forward, you have to have your hands behind your back, and you must pick up as many coins as you can.
So DM, I'll leave this to you if she has to use a whatever check for this. High dexterity, I don't know.
Firstly, is Emilia going to comply before we go any further?
Can I use magic?
No, you must not. You must use your mouth or your eyes or something on your face. Your hands must be behind your back. We can tie them if you like. And you must not get off your knees. So if you were to reach the stump size, if you were to reach over, you would have your chest on the stump to pick up the others off the floor.
Okay. Emilia reaches down and
Attempts to pick up the coins on the stump?
pick one up with her mouth.
Right,
Okay.
as she does,
Yep.
you could get her to roll, I suppose.
I don't think any need to roll. I mean, it's gonna take a little bit to pick the coin up, but she definitely is attempting to pick up the first
Cool.
coin.
As she does, Karnos picks up his double-sided battle axe. 2 hands, he swings it high above his head, and he takes a swing as fast as he can.
What are you aiming at? Her or
Her
the
head,
stump?
taking off her head as she's trying to pick up the
okay.
coin.
Do I see this? Can I stop it?
Yeah.
You do see it, and you can react if you wish. So that would be what are you going to react with firstly?
I just wanted to know if I could stop it. Carry on.
You could, if you wish to. Anyone could. Anyone that's standing there, you have an opportunity to interject as you see this happening. It's up to
Do
you.
I roll for attack?
We will in just a second. I'll go around the party and see who is going to react. Emilia, unfortunately, you would not get a reaction because you're preoccupied and you would probably not see what's coming.
Okay.
Bibblestib, do you react to seeing Karnos raise his axe?
I'm looking right now.
You can react, and you can react with either a spell or an attack, or you can try and stop him. You can try and push Emilia out the way. There's several things you can do in this instant. You're all standing within range to do something.
Okay. I'm gonna heat the coin that Emilia is currently grabbing
Okay.
with heat metal.
Okay, that would definitely cause Emilia to react in an interesting way. Definitely. Okay.
Yes. And that's all I'm gonna do.
That's what you're going to do. Scathus, are you going to react at this point?
Strike with a key point spent for stun strike.
On Karnos?
Yes.
Okay, so we will, in that case, second here. So, as Karnos, you raise your axe and an attempt to behead Emilia as she's leaning over the stump to attempt to pick up this coin. Emilia, your mouth starts to burn as your lips touch this first coin, and you instinctively pull away and sit bolt upright. As Karnos, you strike downwards with the axe, striking the stump millimeters away from Emilia's head as she jerks upward.
I'll make a note. Carlos wasn't planning on taking her head off. He was planning on stopping short and turning the blade flat, and then
Yeah, okay.
he would have had something else. But so he wouldn't strike the stump. He definitely would stop. If she
Okay.
pulls back, he would stop short.
Okay, so he'd stop short. And at that moment, Skathis slams into you with a stunning strike. So, Skathis, I'll get you to roll to hit.
So you would all see her pull back. You would see the blade turn sideways as it comes down, and he would stop short and then get
Pretty much.
That miss means I stopped in time.
Yeah, so, just with a series of events, what's essentially happening is Emilia sits bolt upright with a burn. You can see a visible burn mark on her lip from the heated coin. Carnos comes down with the axe, flipping the axe blade flat, and then stopping. Would have been maybe an inch from Emilia, where Emilia's head would have been. And Skater steps forward, goes to swing a punch, sort of reacting to what's happening, and stops an inch away from Carnos's jaw. And as you sort of sit bolt up, Emilia, you see pretty much that part unfold. His axe come down and stop, literally probably half an inch from where your head would have been. And Skater stopping in his attack on Carnos. What is your reaction?
My lips. Burn my lips.
And you'd see the coin would be glowing a dull red, and probably starting to smoulder on the old stump.
Carnos says, and that there shows that she was about ready to get her head cut off, that she trusted us.
Or, I don't mean to be rude, she was just dumb enough to think that it was actually a test that would test how much we thought that she would trust us or some type of shit.
That's true, and that doesn't mean I'll forgive her. It just means that she put her head over the block with me standing beside her with my axe. I feel like you must have known it was coming, right?
Maybe a little, but a bit extreme.
You're probably right.
Well, Emilia, did you know your head was about to be chopped off when we put the coins on a stump?
In hindsight, I should have. And in hindsight, Drax fucking should have too.
See what I'm saying? She was just stupid. So that didn't prove anything. Carlos, chop her head off.
I don't... Honestly, after hearing her talk to the guard... hang on. Wait the fucking minute. You guys all thought I was going to cut her head off.
Yeah.
Are you absolutely god-blinking fucking mad? I'm a hero. I don't chop people's heads off. I only do that to, like... I was going to say goblins, but I wouldn't do that anymore either, I suppose. Orcs or...
Skater said banish her.
Banish her from what?
The group.
She lied to us, and we're gonna banish. I'm really. I know we're mad. I know she's been a dick, but I really don't.
She lied to us. She wrote letters.
To frame us.
Yeah. I get it. Actually,
what's to say she's not lying to us now?
No, you're right. Actually, you're right. She wrote letters and she lied to us. We should absolutely banish her. I once tried to be a mage, and I wrote a spell, and I didn't cast it, but I should still get into mage school.
What? What are you on about? That makes no sense.
That's what I'm trying to say. This makes no sense. Yeah, she's a dick, but she's had our back in all the battles. She's healed us. I just don't want to kill her, and I don't want to banish her. I think that's a bit rough, right? Maybe she needs to be punished for sure. But this is a bit fucking weird.
Zadriel, what do you want?
I walk up to Emilia.
And explode her head with my warhammer.
And I smile. And I set my hammer like I have it, but It's pointing down. And I say, I thought of you as my friend, and you lied to me. And then I said I would protect you, and you lied to me again. And I hit branding smite on my hammer. And then you betrayed us, and my tenants are to protect people from people like you, who cause suffering, who put people in prison, who could have killed all of us. You don't help. And then I smash the stump with my branding smite, which should cause some radiant fire damage. And I say, if you do it again, I will take that demon out of you. And I start walking towards the next quest that we are supposed to go on.
Roll an intimidation for me, just with advantage.
$25.
Yeah. Emilia, you definitely feel the harshness that's come across there. The branding smite warhammer smashing onto that stump with the radiant flash would probably make you jump as well, I would imagine, at this point. And as Zadriel walks away, I think all of you would have definitely seen a different side of Zadriel right now. And it was a little, I mean, I would say it was probably a little intimidating for everybody. All except for maybe Fibblestib, who knows Zadriel relatively well. But for those of you who don't really know her, just the tone, the look on her face, her golden eyes blazing with anger as she said it, I'd say it probably intimidated most of you at this point. As Zadriel, you head off towards the Wizards of Wine winery, which is marked on your map, which you had been asked to go.
What's the blazing smite do for it, apart from cause the fly? Just out of question.
What's that, sorry?
What's the blazing smite do?
The branding smite, it would actually mark you so that she would know where you were if she hit it at you. But it also does extra radiant damage. So,
so she's going to know where the stump is from now on.
Pretty much. For a while anyway. But also the stump was virtually destroyed with the warhammer. And is probably smouldering with some radiant energy right now as well. Let's... My Barovian. I've got to remember where. Wizards of.
Is that within the city or outside the city?
It is outside of the city. So at the moment, Emilia is unarmored and unarmed. Would you allow her to go back to the city to get her stuff? Is the question.
I bet Zadriel wouldn't.
It's quite possible.
Karnos picks up the coins and he says, "Oh, two of us could go back and get it and come and meet you at the winery if you like."
I'll go.
What are we doing?
I'm going to get Emilia's gear, but because we don't really trust her still, it probably pay for us to go get it instead.
This case is moved faster than us.
It's true, but we try to want to stick together, right?
Zadriel's getting away.
Do I hear you guys?
You would have walked off with quite a verve, so you would probably make pace pretty good out onto the road. So you may have caught part of the conversation about getting her armor before hitting the road.
So with that, Scalar's just gonna sprint back inside. And wait for the guy to open the gate, of course, but yeah, still sprint back.
Worries.
You're right, Mr. Stubb. He probably won't take long, and sort of Karnos has got his little limp on today because he hasn't had a drink in ages. Not a proper drink. And so he's like, yeah.
Emilia's going to say, yeah, he probably will take a while because all my stuff's buried under a tree.
Oh, yes. Completely.
It's not in the thing.
Oh,
but
can you send him a message, maybe?
Don't
Oh
think
yeah,
you
right. I can do
can.
that. I'm gonna point in the general direction that Scafers has gone in, and I'm gonna cast message.
What's the range?
120 feet.
You might catch me.
I'd say he'd catch you before you got out of range, and you would get the message. Emilia, do you tell them which tree?
I can, but it's going to be buried quite deep.
Yeah, might take Skathis a while to get to it, but as long as you can find the tree, you'd have to make a perception roll once he got there. But I'd say that he would be able to find it eventually.
Oh, I can tell him which tree it is.
Yeah. So you explain to Adok whereabouts it is in relation to the church, as you left the church. Skathis, you get the message that Emilia's stuff is buried beneath a tree not far from the church. So you head in that general direction. I'll get you to roll 2 perception checks for me, please. Zadriel, as you look at your map to find where the Wizards of Wine is, you can know it's on the opposite side of Vallaki, so you probably have to go through Vallaki to get there, or around Vallaki to get to the road. So potentially you guys could actually go back through Vallaki and leave via the opposite gate to head to the Wizards, to the winery.
Okay, looking at the map, I turn around to go through Valaki. It's probably quicker.
Yeah, but definitely quicker. I mean, you don't want to spend time in the forest, knowing what you guys know about the forest of Barovia. You can hear the wolves in the distance, so you definitely opt to go through Vallaki and follow the road. At which point you would eventually catch up with Skathis, and I would say with those couple of rolls there, find the tree, but you're having trouble finding where she buried it at the tree. We find the trees, but you can't seem to find the one, and eventually the rest of them get there, and Emilia retrieves her gear herself as she walks to the tree that you're standing next to, and walks right to the spot and retrieves her gear.
Emily will use mold earth to basically draw her gear out from the ground.
Yep. It is the morning, yes. It is early morning-ish. By the time you've done the talk with the captain, come out here and done all this, it's probably hitting mid-morning, heading in towards lunchtime.
Is Zadriel still sort of, as they stop to get the gear, is she still sort of walking ahead?
I would imagine so. It's up to her. I mean, I would probably think so.
Okay, if she does while the others are getting the gear, I don't know who else's would, but I sort of, Karnos tries to keep up with her, but he casts sort of looking back over his shoulder, and he says to Zadriel, trying to just keep it between them if he can, he says, would you have let me chop her head off?
I keep walking.
He carries on with her and says, because it really didn't look like you were going to try and stop me then, eh?
I'm going to touch my flask and give him some wine and just say nothing.
I believe we're on duty, boss. Just have a little sip. And he takes a sip, sort of holding it to his right side, and then he holds it to his left side and takes a sip again, and then hands it back. He says, I do appreciate it. In all honesty, just so you know, if she hadn't have pulled back, I might not have thought about being the hero right at that moment in time. I had inclinations to chop her head off, but I did think that I was maybe a better man at this stage. I appreciate how you feel. Next time you say the word, because she does have evil in her.
I am not sure whether it is to be a hero to spare her or a hero to kill her anymore.
That's exactly why I was doing what I was doing, but I think in the end, I hate to say it, but I think we've made the right decision. We just have to watch her very carefully. Maybe Mr. Stibb can shoot one of her legs off so it's harder for her to run.
Oh, he's very good at that.
I'll go chat to him if you like.
Just keep walking.
Karnos sort of drops back with the rest of them. Not too far back, sort of in between. I'm not sure where the others are at this point.
Okay. So you make it through Balaki and you come out again. We let out of the gate on the opposite side of the Balakian city, heading towards the west, I believe. It's going to, looking at the map, it's going to take a reasonable length of time to get to the winery, maybe 4 or 5 hours. So it's going to be a bit of a walk. So you head westward, you follow the road. Bring up a map here.
Great. Do you mind if I do something?
Sure.
As soon as Emilia gets her stuff, she'll find Adult with his arms crossed, staring directly at her. Excuse me. I'll pull out my hand.
Yes?
What have you got in your bag? Money. Hand it over. Weapons, that as well. Actually, you know what? Just put your bag on the ground. I trust you. We're going through it. Well, I'm going through it.
So be it. Emilia drops the bag on the ground. The only thing that Emilia has is she's put it on her armor. So she's put it on her armor while he's going through her bag.
Yep. What does Haddock find as he goes through your bag?
Oh, jeez, you're going to make me bloody...
Just, I mean, don't go through the menial stuff, like the things like rations and basic clothing, all that sort of, just the stuff that would be of some form of note. Obviously, money, just items that you think would be of relevance here.
Any other letters?
Yeah, things like letters, all that sort of stuff. The stuff that you probably really don't want them to find, but they're going to find it. I would imagine Emilia keeps her water skin, which is probably not water, on her belt.
Yeah.
So that would be on her belt as she put her armor on. But everything else that's in your bag. Just to give them like things like, obviously, if you've got any weapons in there, letters, and things like that.
Alright, there's a small red gem, 3 small green gems, bone and silver hairbrush, a couple of pieces of parchment. There's a small bag, an inkwell, a vial of blood, a wolf pelt, a symbol from a holy symbol.
Which will be her religious symbol, which is the 7 stars.
No, it's the one that
Karnos. Oh, is that the one that Karnos gave you? Okay, so that's the symbol of St. Andrew.
And then there's disguise kit and a small package which is filled with pieces of parchment, bits that look like they've been ripped out of other things.
There's no other letters there.
So there's no money.
How
No
much?
money.
How much gold?
Money as well.
Yeah, how much gold did you have, or how much cash?
48 gold.
So 48 gold. It's in her back
Right.
also.
Adult takes it all.
You take the whole 48.
Not only that, but he takes your inkwell, he takes your parchments, he takes everything that looks like you could write shit with it, and your gems, and your disguise kit.
So remove those items from your bag if you allow him to take it, or unless you're going to try and resist.
Emilia will resist.
What are you going to do to resist?
She's going to say loudly, I trust you I consider you to be a friend, and but I will not let you mug me. And she's saying this in front of the others.
Are you batshit insane? Like
Are
literally,
you
just
batshit insane?
No, I'm not really. I mean, I didn't try and frame everyone. I didn't disguise myself as like some weird sister. I didn't turn into a horse for starters. I didn't try and like not do anything when we're in combat. Mind you, I'm terrified most of the time, but at least try and help. I don't have a vial of blood. What the fuck is this?
It's a vial of blood.
Why do you have a vial of blood?
It's an ingredient for spells.
Yeah, what spell?
Do you have ingredients for spells?
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about you.
Is anyone else intervening at this point? Is that
Am I close by?
you would have been probably out further out the front, but you'd probably notice that the team has stopped, or at least Adok and Emilia have stopped, and having this discussion, which is becoming rather heated.
Carlos is just nodding and smiling.
Whose blood is it?
Mine.
Zone of
What?
truth on Emilia. Whose blood is it?
So zone of truth goes up.
I'm pretty sure it's mine.
Are you going to resist the zone of truth, Emilia?
No.
Oh, we're all in it too.
You would all, yeah. If Zadriel comes back, it would be, yeah, it would catch all of you. And if you, I mean, those that want to resist. Those that don't roll.
Charisma.
Adok again. What is the DC?
16.
Adok, you
Is it-
succeed.
Wisdom or
Is it? Yeah.
Charisma.
Charisma. I thought it was wisdom.
No, it's charisma.
I'm pretty sure it's charisma.
It is charisma. I lied. Anos fails.
Nat 1.
Skathis fails. So Karnos, Skathos, Karnos and Skathis, you both have to tell the truth. Emilia, you chose to fail, so once again you are bound by the truth. You don't have to cannot make a direct lie. So you can still dance around questions and refuse to answer, but you have to, when you do answer, it has to be truthful.
I honestly can't remember if it was my blood or not.
I think it was, from memory.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I'm pretty sure it was, and it was for a spell.
It's my blood.
Right. Zadriel, is she saying the truth?
Yes. Well, she can't. I forgot. Can she lie?
No.
Did she get?
No, she can't.
Okay. No, she can't lie.
Cannot lie. She chose not to resist.
Yeah, well, I mean, all right. So I didn't know that. All right. Okay. Well, great.
Well, since we have the Zone of Truth active, why don't we clear the air then? Why don't I tell you what I didn't want to tell you before? I'm going to.
This should be good. Let's do it.
I'm going
They
to say
might have
this.
to sit down.
So you all take a seat under a
Carlos
tree.
does sit down
Yeah,
here.
you all take a seat
I
under
was
the
go-
tree.
Adolf's just gonna start taking Emily's shit.
Adok, put it back.
Phil's going to
No.
sit down, pull out the good water skin. Take a good sip.
And
Take
Skathis,
Put
yeah,
the rest shit back.
do you
No,
comply?
Take the
Adok?
disguise kit. She
Yeah.
doesn't get the disguise kit no more.
You
You honestly wanted to keep making forgery letters that, frame us, and you wanted to keep disguising herself and having schizophrenic moments or schizophrenic, whatever it's called.
She can.
You can give it to her. We can see through it. No, it's her. It's a undead signature.
Well, at least want a gold.
Well, Zadriel should get the gold because Zadriel paid for it.
I want
That's
for
true.
emotional distress.
You've got a bear for that.
Pretty,
Right, fine,
pretty
you can
sure
have
you
it.
cleaned out the Watcher's house, so I'm pretty sure you're fine. Okay.
So
So,
go cuddle Mr. Cuddles. Oh, by the way, we have to make modifications to Mr. Cuddles.
okay,
So-
getting back to me. People getting back to me.
Getting back to Emilia, we're going to hold there and take a short break, and we'll get back to Emilia after the break before we get too carried away. So we're going to take a short break there, guys. We're going to be right back. Bear with us. We shall return.
eats roots and leaves.
Pretty much. We are back live, just waiting for some of the players to return. Welcome, chat, to our Wednesday night Curse of Strahd campaign. My name is Evildoer. I'm from New Zealand. We are about episode 25 into our Curse of Strahd campaign. Our homebrew campaign finished last week. We have a new mini campaign starting not this coming Sunday, but the following. We're doing our session 0 this coming Sunday. And a raid from Mr. Era Code. What's up? How you doing, Era? Dropping the raid. Get a shout out for Mr. Era. How's it doing? Hello, Mina. So, welcome, guys. We're just returning from our break. We'll be getting back into it very shortly. As I say, mini campaign will be starting on the 7th of March. On this channel and on Yanti One's channel. Also, too, on the 5th of March, Yanti will be DMing the Dragon of Icespire Peak module, which will be streamed on her channel. So make sure you go check her out and give her a follow, so that she get some viewers and get all you lovely peoples in there on a Friday night as well. So starting from the 5th, we'll be having Strahd Wednesday, we'll be having Icespire Friday and Sanctum Sunday for a time. After the Sanctum mini campaign is finished, we will be working towards getting our Vampire the Masquerade campaign up and running. So keep an eye out for that. It's definitely on its way. Sup, JJ? How you doing, buddy? So yes, lots of things coming up soon and things in stuff. So, I think everyone has returned. We're back, so we can get back into the story. As we rejoin the players now, as the Zadriel has recast the Zone of Truth. You're all seated at the base of this tree where Emilia has retrieved her gear. Adok is currently standing, still going through Emilia's pack. Pulled out her disguise kit, pulled out the parchment inkwell and the gems and the gold, and is essentially stripping her of anything that she may use against the party at this point. Emilia has protested, and now under the Zone of Truth is offered to come clean. So we will turn back over to our players now, as Emilia, you were just about to explain yourself to your friends.
Before you say a word, what things have you told us that are utter bullshit?
Well,
as in, do you have a demon? It will come out if you die. You're trying to get rooted because of that. What's another one? You really like Karnos. I still don't get that one. What's another one?
Well, let her answer.
Ah, sorry.
well, most of them. The truth with Karnos is I did come on this mission because I had a crush on him, and I've already explained that under Zone of Truth, so you should know that's true. To begin with...
Still don't get it. Don't get it.
To begin with, my name is not Emilia. It is Emilia Orbis. Emilia is the name I've been going with since I left my village. Years ago, or a while ago, I can't remember. That's me not remembering my own backstory.
It's probably within the last year. It's a shorter period of time, but within 12 months.
Yeah. Mainly because my village cast me out. Well, I was not cast out as such. I fled when they tried to execute me.
Oh, so this is common for you, right?
No, this is only the second time this has happened.
Second time in as many years.
I'm
starting to see a reoccurrence here.
They tried to execute me because they believed I was something I'm not.
And what did they think you were?
Well, they called me a demon.
Right. And what are you?
I am human, but I have been bitten by a vampire.
So you're a vampire.
Not yet.
So why do you
Rock
need
killer.
cock?
Why do I need what?
Why do you need a root? I don't see how rooting something would cure you of vampirism.
It's on my bucket list.
Ah, right.
Druids like roots, I think.
Oh, I don't eat, shoot, root, and leaf. Now, wait a minute. Let's see this.
Okay.
Let's say something. Are you going off the idea if you kill the master of the one that bit you, you no longer are a vampire?
Strahd, I believe to be the man who would know, but he is my bitter enemy. And last time I met him, it ended. Sorry, the last time he appeared to me.
What?
The last time he appeared to me.
At the dinner?
No, he has appeared to me since then. He appeared to me in the jail cell last night.
Side note. Do we remember that he has ever told us that he's seen Strahd before?
Yes, I have told you that.
Yes, she did mention that she had a conversation with Strahd at Ismark and Irena's house.
Okay. Yes. All right. Continue.
Strahd has visited me in my sleep and my dreams twice. The once that I told you, then, and last night. Last night, he offered me to join him, and I told him no. I refused him. He became very angry, and he has made it very clear that we are enemies. I chose this path because of the test. The test showed me two things. One, I believe I do sincerely trust and respect Zadriel and Skathis, which right now is very bad for me, obviously. However, I have seen the strength from the rest of the group that I believe, with my assistance, would help me rid the world of Strahd. You have shown that you have the strength and the honor to take over this land that he has made his own and rid the lands of him. And she looks straight at Zadriel, like straight in the eyes, because she wants her to know that that is absolute truth.
So you are going to be a vampire soon?
Sooner or later I will become that. Obviously I do not want it. I have been...
Go ahead.
Sorry.
You go ahead.
I have been protected outside of this land by my lord, the great goddess Saloon. Saloon?
Same thing, yeah, same thing.
Yeah. And she protected me when I was outside this land, but since I've come to this land, I have not seen the moon as much. I have not seen the moon at all. And that Strahd is cutting a line between me and my queen. The reason that my village attacked me, the reason the demons attacked me, is because my mother is the blood daughter of Saloon. Again, looking at Zadriel directly in the eyes so that she knows it's true.
So, you're part god?
Can I roll insight?
You can.
You can.
still answer the bloody question. You part God. Davy.
I
Shithead.
am my
know.
mother's daughter. I do not know how that works.
I think I sort of get it. You're like a god, but not a god. It's kind of the opposite. It's like,
Demigod?
like
Demigod.
it's like a god, kind of the opposite way around, like a dog, like
Serious
a bitch.
Ditch.
Adok, your insight, she's 100% truthful as far as you can tell. Unbelievable.
My father was human. My mother is the daughter of Selu.
Oh, so 5/16th God.
Sorry, I don't know what 5/16th is. I haven't studied math.
Kind of like Azima, a little.
You are of the sun, I'm of the moon. Effectively, we are, I would say the same, but not the same.
So you're a Moonsy bar.
It is like if druids are of the moon as paladins are of the sun.
You still have a demon inside as well as this vampire about to consume you. So that's true? Demon?
No, I think the demon,
is the vampire.
So that has nothing to do with you getting laid.
Yeah, not at all.
It's a bucket list.
Bucket list.
Bucket list. List of things she wants to do before she dies. I think it's worthwhile dying before you. No, okay. Yeah, that.
I'm at a loss still. We're under zone of truth, so I had to be honest.
Well, not really lost. You're right here.
Well, no, not lost. At a loss. I mean, this is all fine and dandy, but
You're not following.
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
She's going to become a vampire, but she wants to kill the vampire's boss to stop her from being a vampire.
Yeah, I just mean, I thought vampire chicks wore like super tight red, like V-string type things with a black cape.
She's not a vampire chick yet.
Oh, right.
She's not a vampire chick yet, right?
So we stake her through the heart, and that ends the disease, right?
That would kill her. She's not dead yet.
You could help me kill Strahd.
Is she dead
yet? I mean, isn't that what we're here to do? We're here to end a vampire plague. Now, I kind of wish that I'd let the hammer drop, so to speak. Maybe the axe drop, I guess, would be the correct terminology.
Why would you call it a hammer? It's an axe. She's got a hammer. You have an axe. Now I understand why you're lost.
It's just a saying, Mr. Stubb. You know, the hammer hits the anvil when the hammer drops. It's a saying. You not have sayings in gnome world. I know you do. I speak gnomish. I know some of your people. Of course you have sayings.
Yeah, but we're a little bit more literal.
Right. So what are we doing? How are we resolving this, Zadriel? You're the leader. You tell me. You tell us.
So is it true that to free you of being a vampire, we have to kill the vampire boss?
That is my belief, but to be quite frank, I don't know how that works.
And when you become a vampire, then what?
I believe that I would have to kill someone in order to become a vampire. To be frank, I have never killed a single soul.
Can I roll to see if I know if that's how
history.
It works? Yeah.
Roll history with advantage. I would imagine, again, as a paladin, you would have some understanding of this.
I just got 12.
12? Is that with advantage as well?
Yeah, because otherwise 11.
Okay. Okay. So with a 12, your memory's a little hazy, but you do recall that reading about there are some beliefs that to become a full-blood vampire after being bitten or tasting of the blood of another vampire, then yeah, they have to make a bestial type kill, like a more carnal kill than just stabbing someone and drinking their blood. They have to physically bite them and drain them to the point of death before they would completely turn. They still admit an undead signature. They do suffer in daylight, and they seem stronger at night. And after a period of time, the one thing that does stick out to you is that after a certain period of time, and the time is not exact, that these people that exhibit these symptoms normally get to a point where they lose control and can no longer control the urge to kill someone. So it's going to get worse. You've seen her during the day. She is suffering. You know that she's not as she doesn't seem as much herself during the day. She's a little bit lethargic and that during the day, but at night time she seems more invigorated, and that has been quite evident so far. So that it's started, and it is going to get worse. You have no idea of the time frame.
So I'm going to, as I'm thinking of this, relay out loud to everyone what I know about it, and then say, so I am somewhat bound to deal with you if you become a vampire. You know that.
I understand.
And I believe that will make two of us. Miss Emily, what do we call you now?
Emilia.
Emilia, call her Emilia. Give her fucking name.
Call me Emilia because it's easier to spell.
Haddock. Wasn't there a vampire hunter, some dude, famous guy meant to be roaming these lands? Didn't we find his book?
I believe Addock still has his book.
Yeah, I've still got it. It's called Rudolph van Richten. Is his name.
So we need to find this guy. Because, wait, do we know that he's here?
You
Or
don't know
we
that he's
hear
here.
rumors that
You
he's
just found
here?
his book. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that he's potentially been here, or someone's brought this book to this place. Vasily gave it to Addock.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the fact that you've always said that you're like a demon and that you could potentially kill us all, and I fully believe that 100%. I still do. What in God's name did you get to gain from cross-dressing as your sister or double-crossing as your sister and then writing letters to framers? How did that fix any of your issues? That makes zero sense. And as I'm saying this, Addock is still taking all of his shit.
I'm not going to say that it was the best. The list is not the best plan in the world. The test is not the best plan in the world. But I have been without contact for a very long time. My parents were executed when I was young. Not by humans, by the demons. And I have been alone ever since. I have been afraid of everyone and everything. Since I have been infected with this curse, it has led me to have to flee my home and venture out in the world to try and find a way to get rid of it. I'm not saying that the test is the best plan in the world.
Man, it kind of sucked.
Yeah, like, what are you testing? I still don't get it. Were you testing how quickly we could kill you? Because it's pretty quick.
Yeah, I felt like that was really, dumb.
Well, to act as someone else, you were more likely to tell someone else stuff about that someone. that you wouldn't tell them directly to their face. Would you not agree?
No, I'd like to tell everything to everyone if I can. Oh no, Adok.
Look, what you say she's got, like schizophrenia or something?
Schizophreniac, yeah, that's that's what she's got. I'm sure of it.
Look, I really don't know what your plan was, or what your deal was, or what you were trying to do. All I know is that all of this shit is mine, and I'm going to take it, and I don't give a damn what you're saying. I still don't trust you. And
while Adok's still taking Emilia's stuff, I'd like to use sleight of hand to put stuff back towards Emilia.
I don't know that you're going to be able to do that. It depends on what Adok's doing with it. Are you putting it directly into your own bag?
Yep.
I'm taking directly out of his.
Yeah, it's going to be a high DC because I can imagine he's sort of it's either in front of him, beside him. It's not going to be an easy task to try and take it out of his bag and put it back in the bag he's taking stuff out of. So you can try it, but it's going to be a high DC.
Fuck.
Yeah, you get caught attempting to take stuff out of Adok's bag as he's putting stuff into it.
What's your problem, Scaphus? Why would you let her keep the things that gave us the trouble that we have costed her for, that we need to... You just let me keep the stuff.
Give her some stuff back.
Look, Scaphus, I'm a little bit with Adok on this one. She can keep her casty stuff, you know. She needs to be able to heal us, and she needs to be able to lift dirt and water. Otherwise, she doesn't need these other things that she's poor Adok. Look at him, and he pats Adok on the head. He goes, he's a poor little child, and she's scared him half to death, and she just about got us all fucking jailed and sent from the city again. She needs to be punished like a child. Which, look at her, she's kind of a child.
I'm not a child.
Well, I mean, you're, yeah. But how old are you, Mr. Adok? How old are you?
I'm like 30.
He's the child.
Wow, do goblins not get much taller than that?
No.
Yeah, I'm
the
sure.
Humans not get much smarter than you.
No, well, I mean, yeah, they do, because I'm pretty, I have a lot to drink, but generally, I'm short for my race. It doesn't matter, we're digressing.
Stop patting me on the head.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's just out there, right height. I could actually rest one of my, my drinking flasks on your head too. No, I won't do that though, because it's just I'd have to balance too. But nonetheless, what was I saying?
I would say by this point, the zone of truth would have faded.
Damn you.
Emilia, you can continue though.
Emilia's going to look at Adok and say, you seem to be very keen to kill my doppelganger. That's very unlike you. You're usually cowered under a desk or a thing, or a bed or something. Where did your sudden burst of courage come from?
I'm so confused. Is this coming from the woman? Is this coming from, well, that too, but is this coming from the woman that just moves dirt and water around? You don't exactly look terrifying.
This is exactly that.
Okay.
Why would I be terrified of you? What have I got to be scared about? Go on. Well, have a go. Have a swing. See what happens.
I'll play devil's advocate here, Emilia. We were all chasing this other woman because we thought she'd had some business with you, We thought she'd done something to you. Adok was protecting Emilia from Emilia. Is this, Bishava, is this confusing to anyone else except for me?
No, I never once thought that she was somebody else. I thought it was the one person the whole time.
Oh.
And yet you still aimed your weapons at me.
Yeah, well, Zadriel was the one that said to shoot, so I shot.
I meant a paralyzing dart, not like a bullet or anything.
Yo, I didn't
But
say
now-
a bullet.
Didn't say shoot a paralyzing dart. You said shoot.
I was
Yeah.
very quick. A horse was on me all of a sudden. It's like the cow incident all over again. I didn't know what to do.
The cow was nowhere near you.
I feel like we don't have to justify ourselves to you, Emilia. You played us. So if you've tested us, what have you gained from it? Near-death experience. I think that's just minorly retarded to do. So I think maybe you should just be saying, hey, sorry, Zedriel, I made a mistake, and we should carry on as best we can, and as untrusting as we are at the moment. But I think trying to push this back on us seems a little bit, dumb.
Okay, well, who was the first one who put us in jail overnight? Just gonna say,
I
who
don't
were we
think
rescuing?
now.
Who put themselves in jail because they said they're gonna attack a guard?
Yeah, I
What's
see
that?
this. I didn't put you in jail, did I? No, I put myself in jail. I did put no one else in jail.
Granted, that wasn't the most intelligent idea either. She has got you there.
Okay,
That is
so
true.
We've all obviously had stupid ideas.
Ah,
Oh, sorry. When I say all, sorry, Fibble, you're not included in that. Scathis, you're not included in that.
Adults. A couple of doozy ones too.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, Phil's the first thing I heard about him was him come through the door and Zedriel telling him off for shooting the legs off a cow. So,
Hey, it did what it was meant to do. That's not a failure.
and Scafer stuck his hand in a
He's
door
pretty
with
cow.
bloody teeth.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Um,
but why?
literally
I
don't
don't-
remember that.
I'm pretty sure I got played out. I got whipped, annoyed, whatever. Well, everyone else for when I put us in jail, which I didn't put us in jail. I put myself in jail. You guys are quite free to walk off. Nonetheless, you put us in jail, all of us. So trying to turn it around is senseless. We're not playing the blame game. We're playing the, okay, Emilia, do you want to travel with us or do you want to fuck right off? That's where we sit at this point. And I think right here, right now, with all these people that don't trust you, I could have taken your head off. No one was really stopping me.
Well,
So,
say this.
we
If you've
didn't.
been chased by a group of 5 people, you've got an arrow in your shoulder, you've been shot in the back, and somebody's fired a fire spell from a flute at you, and all you're trying to do is protect yourself, and you see guards coming, you're going to be yelling out, going, hey, can you help me? I mean, I freaked out. I panicked. I made a mistake.
You said they had letters in their pack and basically completely lied that we were trying to kill you. That's different.
And we were under the belief that you were someone different, except for Adok, who knew all the time. He's obviously brighter than all of us. We were under the belief you were someone else.
No, it's not. He's more bright. He's less trusting.
I said
Emilia, roll a perception check for
And
me,
he's
please.
also a thieving little prick. Stop taking her shit.
I'd say by this point he's probably emptied everything out of that pack that he wanted to. Emilia, you see Adok lunging at you from the corner of your eye.
I'm going to step back. I'm going to step back. I'm going to use mold earth and basically raise a wall between me and Adok.
Adok, you slam face first into a wall of dirt as she moves and instantly throws up a barrier between you and her. You don't take any damage, but you do get a mouthful of dirt.
Zadriel, I swear to God, if you don't let me have a go at her, or knock her out, or do something, I'm going to kill her myself. Throw me over the wall. I don't care.
Oh, not in town. Are you trying to get us all locked up again?
No, I'm not. I'm just want to knock her out so we can, like... Can you not see what she's trying to do? She's trying to use her fancy little words to try and make us all the things of the mistrusting, infighting, and I'm like, just jab her, knock her out, then we deal with the problem.
Okay, just to bring it here, I didn't say that you were trying to kill me to the guard. I said you were trying to kidnap me. And you just carried me the whole length of town unconscious on your back. I mean, if that's not kidnapping,
Hang on a
I
minute.
don't know what is.
You just said we carried you the length of town unconscious on your back. How do you know that?
Well, obviously someone tried to stick me with a dart. I know
No.
someone's got
Yeah,
paralyzed
but
darts.
you wouldn't know which way we walked if you were unconscious. You weren't unconscious, were you?
No, not at all.
So,
But
so we didn't carry you unconscious through town. Therefore, we did not kidnap you. You came freely of your own will.
of course
Actually,
it came freely.
You were being lazy and
Trying to
getting
kill-
carried. Lucky.
We're not getting very far. What was our next quest? Is this? Are we over this yet?
Look, all I'm going to say is she's out front until.
Yeah, detecting traps. I agree.
Yeah,
Mr. Stibb, you're
we're
spot
going to
on.
use her as a trap finder. And give her back her shit. Except for the disguising kit. She doesn't need that.
And the
All the
paper.
money.
Don't give her the paper or the money or gems. No.
No, give her the
That's all-
paper. Just don't give her any ink. Or, well,
No, but then she
No,
could write
give
it in blood.
her her stuff. If she betrays us again with any of it, we have an answer.
Oh, what, for like the 4th time?
And she can have her money, because if she wants to piss off, she can go.
You heard the party leader. Give me all my stuff back, Adok.
No.
Adok, give it back.
No.
Intimidation.
It's not
Bill
really
Beck,
intimidating,
okay.
skaters. you gotta do better than that, mate.
Hell.
Carnos looks to Zadriel. Do you want me to give it back?
What does she not have? She doesn't have her disguise kit, her ink, her paper. That it?
He has taken her disguise kit, her ink, her paper, her gems, her gold. Pretty much anything he thinks that's worth anything in that bag.
Get the klepto to give me my stuff back.
Not when you ask me like that, Emilia.
Can I just cut
Carlos.
off her tongue?
I-
Just cut
I
off her
wasn't-
tongue. Can I just do that?
Carnos
Oh.
kneels down in front of Adok and he says, Adok, I will give you a platinum piece every time you give her something back.
Roll a wisdom save, Adok.
Oh, I know.
We have to do it this way. I'm sorry. It's too good. Yeah. You 100% into that.
I'll tell you what. If you make it 2 platinum pieces, we got a deal.
For each item you give her back, that's a deal.
All right, done. Emily, you gave his shit back.
Right, so how many items do you give her back?
So there was the disguise kit, the parchment, the ink. How many gems were there? It was 4 gems, and then the gold. So essentially 5 items. We'll say.
So it's 2 for each, so I give him 10 platinum.
Hate to be a stick in the mud. What with the disguise kit? How much equipment's in a disguise kit?
It's a full kit. It would have been an entire kit.
Yeah, well,
But-
Carlos was playing that game
yeah.
anyway. If it was a sack of gold, he wasn't going to pay him a platinum for each gold. So, nonetheless, he bartered.
We'll say
well.
10 platinum.
Carlos's even numbers thing, you see, he was going to have to give him 2 anyway. All right, so there you go, and he hands over, counts it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 platinum. There you go, Adok. Are you happy, Emilia?
Yeah, alright.
But really, who cares what you're feeling? All right, let's go.
Emily is going to collapse the wall onto Adok. The wall of dirt that he ran into.
I take the waterman block. Oh, no, I'm a shield. Shield and block.
Well, effectively, the
It's just-
collapsed wall is just going to be dirt.
It's not like it's not even gonna hurt him. It's just gonna make him dirty.
Okay, let it happen.
Yeah, it's not like a 30-foot wall of dirt that's gonna smother him, kill him, or anything. It's enough to make him dirty, basically. Again,
Carlos
probably
looks-
get another mouthful of dirt in the process.
Sorry, carry on.
No, where you go.
Carlos looks at Emilia and says,
That's not very wise. He doesn't trust you, mate. Don't give him more reason. You're acting foolish. Lead away.
Frankly, I don't give a damn what he thinks. He's pissed me off in the last 10 minutes. I trust everyone apart from him.
He's pissed you off. Oh,
Let us go. Come on, let's do this wine thing so that, we can drink.
Emilia's got to pick up her bag, go through it to make sure everything's there.
Everything's there.
And she's going to grab the disguise kit, which I have absolutely no clue how to remove from my inventory, and toss it on the ground.
Oh, I can remove it for you. It's cool.
But if you click it on the right hand side, the menu
Should be
comes
at
up,
it,
it
yeah.
says remove at
It
the
should,
bottom.
should say remove on your sheet. Click on the kit, and on the right hand side of the screen it will give you a description of the kit, and at the bottom of that description there should be a remove button. But if you can't do it, no drama, I can remove it later. Do you do that in front of everyone? Point.
Yep, do that in front of everyone. If anyone wants this, it's yours. I don't need it. I won't be disguising myself as anything anymore.
So hang on, why did you make him give it back to you and me pay him if you're just going to throw the fucking thing? Beshaba,
More bloody brains. And Carlos carries on walking the other way.
Eventually you all, I mean, I'd say you're pretty well fractured at this point. You're not gonna, I don't think many of you are going to be walking together. It's going to be sort of spread apart, sort of each person grumbling their own grumblings at this point, except for maybe Fibblesib and Scathus are probably just, I mean, Fibbles just, his mind's probably blown with the childish bullshit that's going on in front of him right now. But you all eventually make it.
I lean down to Fibble and say, "Are humans like this normally?"
All the time.
Okay.
Eventually you make it to the eastern gate of Vallaki and exit the township. It is now probably past lunchtime-ish, and you leave the city heading towards the marker on your map where you were told the winery is located. You know it's going to take a few hours to get there. So I need someone to roll a d20 for me for the first hour of this journey. So we'll, Zadriel, roll a d20 for me. Eleven. Ooh. So bring up my thing here. As you're walking along the old Slavich road, which leads you away from the Vallaki township, you notice a group of people walking along the road. Seems to be about 3 or 4 of them. Hooded figures. They're not on the road, but they're sort of off in the trees just a little bit. They're not really trying to hide themselves, but they're not trying to be on the road either. As you start to draw close to them, because they're walking relatively slowly, as you draw nearer to them, one of them sort of, you see him look over his shoulder in your general direction, obviously hearing you guys approaching, the clattering of Zadriel's armor and maybe Karnos as well, sort of alerting them to your presence. And you see him lean into one in front of him. You can see they're sort of speaking amongst themselves. The gait in their pace, the gait in their walk slows so that you get closer. And can I get you all to roll a perception check for me just quickly? We got here with our perceptions. We got a 9, we got a 2, we got a 15. 8 to 22 and 15 be a -1 for you, Emilia, to be a 14. So Scathus and Zadriel would probably be the only ones to notice. The one that's sort of closest to you guys, see him reach into his cloak and pull something out. His body language shifts and changes from someone who's walking to more of a battle style stance. What do you do at this? You can see shifting as like he's almost like he's readying himself for something. You guys are about 30 feet away from him at this point.
Ready my warhammer, probably.
Yeah, so you and Skates is the only one that have noticed this at this point, as you're still sort of walking slowly forward.
And I'm going to say heads up.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my stance, just normal.
As Zadriel says heads up, Karnos pulls forth his axe and shield, but just loosely, but just that they're ready. You see the oncomers look aggressive.
One of them, Zadriel and Skaith, have noticed that he's changed his body language slightly. Like the rest of you haven't really noticed it too much, but now that she sort of pointed it out, Karnos, with your skill, you would see that they're taking a more militant style sort of stance, and they're still walking, but they've slowed their gait so that it closes the distance between you.
Karnos just says, "All right, be careful. We're all heated here, and I don't think we need any more trouble right now. Just don't let us go the wrong way."
And as the distance between you closes, you see the person in the front is a taller person than the rest. They're all cloaked and hooded. You all recognize these robes as you get a little closer, and they're very similar to the robes that Lady Vakta's cultists were wearing the night that you entered her home and found her little chamber. And then once again you notice the rear sort of turns and looks over his shoulder towards you and whispers again to the rest of them, and they all sort of again they spread out a little bit, moving sort of two moving towards the forest a little bit, two moving towards the road, but splitting themselves apart so they're not so grouped. And then the taller of the group turns and speaks softly, but enough that you can hear it from where you are, and says, "Lord Strahd sends his regards." And with that, we will roll initiative. So Karnos, your initiative, please.
14.
14. Adok the Grey.
Got a 10.
10. Skathus.
10.
10. Mirabelle's still on that lot. We can't have that. That's how long ago I set up these encounters. Zadriel.
2.
Oh, wow. Fiddleston.
9.
9. And Emilia.
Nat 20.
19 with your minus
No,
1.
that is.
Oh,
that
is
was 20 plus 1.
Okay, so there's a 20 then. Cool. We will start battle.
Nice roll.
Very nice roll. So Emilia, you have the initiative in this particular encounter as these robed individuals, 4 of them, step forward now. Well, 2 of them step forward into the road. The other 2 sort of moving back towards the forest. About 20 feet from you guys now as you've closed the distance somewhat. I'd say Emily is probably positioned more to the back of the group, considering the...
No, she's at the front.
You move to the front.
The group said she was at the front, so she's at the front.
Yeah, we
cool.
made her lead.
Oh, you made a lead? So be it. She's in the front. So you are out in front of the group, and you have noticed that these individuals have stopped. They've said Lord Strahd sends his regards, which is probably no surprise to you at all, as your previous evening's conversation. What are you doing? They're about 20 feet from you.
Just looking at the... Oh, shit. Sorry, I thought I had a thing, but I don't. I have to change it.
That's quite alright.
There wasn't so many things on my screen. Oh, shit. Emilia is going to use wild shape.
Yes.
And shape into a black bear.
No problem. So that's your bonus action for movement and action.
And then she's going to remain at the front of the group and move towards them. I don't know if I can attack just yet.
You can. Your bonus action is your shape, your ability to morph. So you all see Emilia perform morph and fill out into and then the fur fills out, and then all of a sudden, standing in front of you now is a large black bear. She growls and moves forward into the cultist. You would definitely, with the bear, I'm assuming it has 30 feet of movement or more. You're able to move into these first two as they have moved up onto the road. You will be able to attack with your action.
Sweet, you're going to have to tell me how to attack, because I've never done it before.
Have you got your bear on your sheet? In
Yes,
your
I do.
in your extras. Click on the bear. Just click on the bear. It'll bring up the stat block.
Yeah, that's what I got up.
So just read the attack. Scroll down and it should have a list of attacks there.
I got bite and claws.
1 second. I will bring up your character sheet. Your hand.
Got multi-attack, bear attack, makes 2 attacks with one on bite, one with claws.
There you go. So you'll be rolling a d20 using the bear's stats. So black bear. So you would need to roll a d20 plus 4.
I'm reading feelers.
Oh, yeah. It's a d20 plus 4. Roll your d20.
15 plus 4.
15 plus 4, so it'll be still -1, so it'll be +3, so it'll be 18. That will definitely hit the first of these robed individuals. And your damage is 1d6 plus 2, so it'll be 1d6 plus 1.
1d6. 1.
That'll be 2 damage. So you do 2 damage as you swipe out with your claw. You still got a bite attack. As the bear swipes out this first cultist, just catching his arm with your claws, and he reels back in pain as you lunge forward to make your bite attack. So that's also d20 plus 4. Oh, that's a
7.
miss. That is a miss.
Sweet.
So your second attack does miss as you bite forward. He manages to move to avoid the large sharp teeth of this bear. And that will be your turn.
Excellent.
Next we have Karnos, with Adok on board after that. So Karnos,
So
it's now
Karnos
your
was-
turn.
Karnos was just behind Emilia. Roughly how far from the enemy is he?
He probably, again, you were all about 20 so feet from
20
the
so,
two on the
okay.
road. There's a couple that have moved in towards the forest, would be about 30 to 35 feet away.
Do they all? You said they were in robes. Do they all
Wearing robes.
cast a class, or is this anything sort of
Roll a
hard to
perception.
say?
Roll a perception. Knowing what you've dealt with previously,
Not so much.
in the Vakta house, you would assume that they're possibly caster abilities, but you really can't tell from this distance.
Okay. Karnos is going to run up the beer attacked one, right? He saw
Yes.
Emilia. Yeah. Carlos is going to run up to the same one that Emilia attacked, and as he's running, he's not going to get out his shield. He is shieldless. He is two-handed, brandishing the axe,
Go for it.
and he's going to hit the same one that the bear attacked.
No problem. 13. That will hit.
Right, two-handed makes it tougher. That is 8 slashing damage, and
8.
with his second attack, he's going to
Now hold your
reverse
second
spin.
attack for a second,
yep.
because this first cultist, as you bury your axe into his chest, his the gurgling, bubbling sound coming from his throat and the cracking of ribs, and you watch as his eyes roll back in his head, and he then drops limp in front of you as you end his life, a single blow.
And with my second action, because I have second attack, sorry.
Point up, there is a second one there.
I should have enough movement to get into the next one.
He's pretty much standing within 5 feet of the first. They were standing pretty much shoulder to shoulder in the road.
Sweet.
This is the one that spoke to you. He definitely, he's a lot bigger, and he looks to be wearing a bit more armor than these other two too.
Okay, I'm going to do a reverse head chop, so I spin around and trying to chop off his head.
Okay.
So I'll do that. 16 to hit that one.
That will definitely hit. No, that will definitely hit.
And I'm going to use a superiority dice to try and... No, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use a superiority dice, I lie. I'm just going to do the damage.
No problem.
That is 14 damage
That is a
slashing.
massive amount of damage.
And I'm going to use Action Surge
No problem.
and take 2 more swings. Same thing, I'm going to spin around 2 more times. Spin.
Go for it.
The first is going low. I'm going to try and trip attack him after this using the
Yep.
with 13 to hit. That's
That
probably low.
hits. It does
It
hit.
does hit.
It does hit, yes.
Okay, so that will be
Actually,
And-
no, sorry, that will not hit. He is going to use a
Yeah, I was
reaction
gonna
to
say.
throw up shield. And
sweet.
you
Okay.
see that shimmery sort of force field pop up around him, and it will miss.
Okay, and I'll take my last attack. Same thing, spin. Oh yeah, he's better.
That will definitely hit.
And this time I'm using, and I went low again,
Yep.
going for the chopping them off at the legs, knee height.
Knee
Using my
height, yes.
superiority dice to do a trip attack. So that adds to my damage an extra D, which I'll have to roll separately. An extra D8, so 4 plus
9 initially. Another 6.
yeah, so 15 total damage, and he has to make a strength save to stop being tripped up. Once I see what it is.
I think say.
DC 16.
Damn it! I turned off my on 20s. I need to roll this. Rolls a 13 plus 0.
So he is now prone. And
And
with
he-
Carnos's
He is bleeding
it.
heavily too.
Carnos has finished his attacks, and he yells at everyone. Oh, mostly at Emilia. See, I'm saving your life now, so don't you forget it. And that's it for him.
It's a Hin Adok, you're up next.
And they yell
So-
back, "Roar."
Adok's going to pull out his blowgun flute.
Yep.
He's going to squirm and scream and go, and look like he's fumbling. But then he's going to cast Igni at Emilia.
Oh, really?
Firebolt at Emilia. But
Okay.
make it look like he missed by accident.
Okay, roll to hit.
$20.
That does hit.
She takes 11 points of damage, and because it's my magical firearm, I can add another D8 of damage
Okay.
to it as well.
Go for it.
So 13 points
So
of damage.
13 points of damage on your bear form, Emilia, which so just don't put it on your main HP. Just subtract, your bear form has 19 points of HP, so just subtract it from that at this point. And when you drop down to 0, your form will revert, and then anything will go over to your physical form. So your bear form has taken 13 points of fire damage.
And if it's possible for out of effect, Adult would like to make it look like he's tripped and fell and missed and fallen backwards when he shot it.
Make a performance check.
Sure.
See how well you sell it. The rest of the mind you, the rest of the group probably a little preoccupied, but we'll do it anyway.
3.
Yeah, if anyone actually noticed, it wouldn't look overly convincing. So those Emilia definitely wouldn't notice. She's busy. Neither would Karnos, as they're way out in front of you and dealing with this stuff. I would imagine Fibble, Scathus, and Zadriel, who are all sort of in the same proximity as you, would definitely notice, even without a perception check. Scathus. It was that the performance check was that bad that it was definitely noticeable, that it was probably on purpose. Whether the shot looks like it was done on purpose, but the fall was definitely looks like it was done on purpose.
So they go, oh no, I'm so sorry that I missed.
Is that your turn? You are now prone, so just bear that in mind. Scathus, you're up. Fibble, you're on board after that.
I'll move up to the other two.
Yes, you have more than enough movement to move into the other two.
Thank you. And I'll do unarmed strike on one of them.
Go for it.
I'll go again.
You missed the first one.
Nat 20.
Nice. So the first one he manages to dodge your punch and it's almost like you planned it. Faked him out with the first shot and then come around and just smash him with a left hook on the second. So double your damage. So not double your damage. So it's full dice damage, then roll. So it's normally 15 plus 9.
Yeah.
Oh no, 2d4. So it'd be 8 plus 3.
No, 2d6. Thank you.
That's right. Your unarmed strike's huge, isn't it? So that would be 15, that'll be 24 points of damage. You cave his face in with a single blow. You hear the bones just break underneath your fist. And even popping one of his eyes as you sort of smash the jawbone, his eye socket, and just your whole fist just caves the side of his face in. And he falls to his death.
Oh, that was a good hit.
That was a good hit. Is that your turn?
Yes.
Bilsib, you are up. There is still 2 cultists up at this point that you can see. You do hear the sounds of wolves baying in the woods beyond where you are, but it is your turn.
So there's one cultist up near Scathus and one
by
near Emilia.
One by Emilia and Karnos, yes.
I'm going to cast Firebolt at the one closest to Scathus.
Yep.
And look at Adok and go, bad.
Okay, roll to hit.
12 to hit.
That will hit.
12 points of fire damage.
And as your fireball strikes the cultist, his robes ignite, engulfing him in flames and fire. He runs screaming, "Ah, it burns, it burns, it burns!" And he runs around, and eventually you hear him take that breath in, and the flames, he inhales the flames and the fumes, and eventually dies, choking, screaming in pain. With that, is that your turn?
Yes. That's all.
Zadriel, you're up. There is one cultist left standing in the road. He is looking very bloody indeed.
I am going to go up to him and I'm going to try and put Divine Smite on this if it works.
Okay, so you're going to charge forward with your Warhammer.
15.
15 does hit. You dump a divine smite into your warhammer. It
And I say,
glows
take
in a
his
radiant
back to
energy.
Strahd.
No
And
worries.
I hit him for 11.
And Zadriel, please explain to the party and the viewers the way in which your warhammer destroys this individual. What do you want me to?
Slam it straight down so that his head explodes.
I was going to do the same thing. So Karnos, you're standing there as Zadriel surges just past your left shoulder, warhammer raised, glowing in a radiant energy as she strikes down, hitting the forehead of this robed individual. And you hear, all of you, Emily, you'd hear this as well, that same familiar crushing of bone and skull as the skull is crushed inward, and then that sort of audible popping sound as the head explodes from the neck and shoulder, the gurgling of blood bubbling up through the throat where the head should be, and the body hangs there for just a moment before drifting off to one side, falling and hitting with a thud on the gravel and rolling to one side. As you stand there, Zadriel, looking down, blood covering your warhammer, bits of skull and brain matter dripping from it, you turn to your right, and as you turn, Karnos, you turn following her gaze, and 5 more cultists step out of the woods, charging forward. Is that everything you want to do in your turn?
I still have another attack I can use, so.
You probably
Are
don't.
they
You
close?
probably don't have enough movement to get to them at this point.
Okay. So I will hold.
So it is now their turn. The first cultist comes out of the forest. Well, they two come out together side by side, then they split off. One heads towards you, Scathus. Another one heads towards the 3 in the front, as do the other 3 following. And they all manage to get in. One managed to get to Scathus. The other 3 make it sort of within 10 feet of you guys, not quite able to get there. Scathus, we have an attack at you, sir, which will be 10 plus, where is it? 3, 13 to hit.
That's a hit.
So he swings forward he draws a scimitar as he runs towards you, raises it high and slashes down across your chest, and he will do 4 points of slashing damage against you as he opens up a wound just on the upper torso. That be his only attack. The others cannot attack at this point. They're not close enough. Again, you hear the baying of wolves in the distance. Emilia, it is now your turn at the top of the round.
Alright, so.
Karnos, you're up after that.
Is the one attacking Scathus the closest?
No, you'd have another 4 sort of coming towards you guys that are within 10 feet.
I was just going to charge again at the nearest one and attack again.
Run in, you attack with your bear claws and your bear bite.
What the hell I'm doing?
So 20 plus 5, I believe it is. So it'll be plus 4 because of your daytime disability. That will miss. So your second attack. That'll also miss. So 2 attacks. This sculptor seems to be a little bit more agile than the others and manages to dodge your attacks. Is there anything else you wish to do? I think you've only used about half of your movement.
You're going to move out of the line of fire of the other.
If you move away from the cultist you're engaging, you will get an attack of opportunity. You can sort of move around to a side if you can.
I'll move around to the side.
So you move yourself out of ranged fire, so you believe. So you move around this particular cultist. Karnos, you're up. Adok, you're on board after that.
Karnos looks to Zadriel and the group that are coming towards them, and he says, "Righto, Zadriel, you and me, let's crush these fuckers." And he runs forward to the closest. What you said was there?
There's
did they
four.
all have scimitars, or just?
It looks like they all have scimitars. As they come out, they've all drawn melee weapons.
And he runs at the closest, at least. The group, I don't care.
Yeah, you'd have been pretty much joining Emilia at this point. The group would have been together. They're a little bit spread out, but they're all within sort of 10 feet of each other.
And I will make my first attack. Same thing, I'm double-handing. I haven't pulled my shield out yet.
Yep.
So I'm going to aim for the guy's whichever arm he's holding his scimitar with.
Okay.
And that's a definite hit with a 26.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to expend a superiority die and disarm the target.
Oh, okay.
That's my plan. So I'll get an extra D8 on this. So 6, he has to make a strength save to hold on to his weapon, and my D8 adds to this 11 plus 6, so 17 damage.
Doesn't really matter. Again, you manage to decapitate this guy as you charge in, raise your axe,
yes.
and you cleave his arm off and then into his torso. The blow is that solid. Goes through the arm, into the torso, smashing ribs, and into the lungs, and you hear you can hear that sucking wound of air trying to escape from this, and it's bubbling, and it's a real gross sound.
Sweet. And I'll just roll straight into the next one with my second.
And you're
attack.
close enough to roll into the next one.
And I'm just going for the head, just off with his head, hopefully. That's a
Yep.
22 to hit.
It hits.
Oh, 15 damage.
Yeah, these guys don't have much hit points at all. Again, after removing your axe and spinning around, sort of double-handed, spinning on your heels, coming around and cleaving this guy's head clean off. Single blow.
Just letting out a battle cry. "Grah, come on, Zadriel! Take his head out!" For the next one, pointing at the next one. That's me.
That leaves 3 on the battlefield. Adok, you're up. Skathis, you're on board after that.
Adok at this point will pick himself back off the ground.
Yep, stand
and
up. You got about 15 feet of movement, 15, 20 feet, which you won't get into melee range, but you're not really too worried about that. So.
And then he's going to point at Karnos, and he's going to whisper Mektuk and cast message to Karnos. And he's just going to say, "Let him have her." And that's it.
Do I get a reply to
You
that?
do get to reply, you do.
It'll just be quick, and I'll say, "I didn't like goblins at the beginning either, but hey." And that's it.
That your turn, Adok. The action to
And
cast
then-
message? Or bonus action?
It is an action.
Action,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You got a
And
bonus
I'll-
action.
If there's like any coverage or anything like that, I'll just start to walk and try and duck behind that if I can.
You're on the road, so there's really no cover.
Okay, yeah, then it's not really much. I'll probably just try and get as far away from them as possible for the extra 15 feet.
Okay, so you move back, you sort of retreat a few feet. With that, Skathis, you're up. You have one that has charged into you and attacked you. Fibble, you're on board after that.
There it is. Okay, so I'm going to spend 1 key point. Now, when you make use an attack. Okay, so I need to attack first, don't
Yes, you do.
I? Okay, alarm strike.
That'll hit.
Alright, use 1 key point. Let it go. Key, hello, key. There you go. Okay, back to too far. Okay, lost it again. Fuck it. Okay. I can't find it. Okay, yeah, increase your reach by 10 feet with an arm strike for the rest of the turn. Hit this attack, deals fire damage instead of bludgeoning.
Okay.
So,
Roll your damage, which will be
Damage.
fire damage.
so that's
6 points of
6
fire. 6 points of
plus-
fire damage.
plus also deal an extra. There it is. That on top.
That on top, that is enough to set this cultist also ablaze as you slam him in the chest with your fist, and ignites his robes, and the flames just crawl up his robes and into his robe hood and into his face, and he screams, running around in agony and pain until eventually he also perishes.
Who else is up?
There is 2 more up that are about 15 feet away from where you're currently standing.
Well, I'll definitely make that.
You will.
Alright.
You have 1 more attack, I believe.
Yes. The 25 to hit.
That definitely hits.
And they'll use another key point.
Same attack.
Yeah, same attack.
Five points of damage and your extra.
Extra. Ooh.
Another one bites the dust as yet another cultist, ribs shattered, burst into flames, leaving one lowly cultist who is not looking too good right now. He's looking around at everybody, seeing what's going on, seeing all of the carnage around him. He is not looking good at all. He drops his hood and you can see the fear in his face. Sybil, you're up. Zadriel, you're on board after that.
Firebolt, that dude.
Okay. Roll to hit.
28 to hit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that hits, eh? I mean, pretty sure.
11 points of damage.
Describe the demise of this poor cultist who is looking terrified as Fireball is sent forward by Fibblestip.
It hits him in the chest and it goes straight through.
The Fireball strikes him with such force, it literally like a meteor burns through his chest, through his spine, and for a moment he stands there with this hole about the size of a cannonball through his chest. And he looks down and you see him, he reaches inside and then his eyes roll back and he falls backwards. It's the dirt. Thus ending our encounter and the initiative.
Carlos looks around. You sure? We've got to check the tree line. Maybe there's more. They come out of the trees.
Make an investigation.
Yeah.
If you're all going to do it, make it with advantage.
Everyone helping?
Yeah, I'm helping.
Sweet. All right. Advantage. That's better. 23.
So as you look around the carnage on the road and beside the road, you check in a few feet, maybe 10 or 15 feet into the forest, not wanting to venture too far because you can still hear the wolves baying, and they're not close, but they're close enough to make you uncomfortable. And you're satisfied that there's no one else there.
Carlos relays that message. Says,
Okay, team. I think we're in the clear.
and that's it.
So, you are now finished with this particular combat. Several dead individuals lay in the road and on the side of the road. What is it you wish to do?
Loot the bodies.
Yeah. Loot the bodies.
No need to roll investigation. They don't have any gold on them. They are wearing simple... most of them are wearing very simple leather armor. Nothing more than what you already have. The robes are not new, but they're not older. They're relatively nice robes, but they're the same robes that Lady Varkta's cultists were wearing. You definitely get the impression, obviously, with what was said, that they have been sent by Strahd. It didn't seem overly difficult to take care of, but were they sent as a distraction? Were they sent to kill you? We're not entirely sure. There will be 8 scimitars, though, scattered around. The one that was in a different robe wasn't carrying anything. He has a symbol around his neck, which carries the symbol of Ravenloft on it. You get the impression that that's what he was using as his casting focus.
Emilia is going to use revert form and become human again.
Okay.
I'm assuming I can.
Yes, you can drop. You can drop your wild shape at any time.
And she's gonna stand up and go, hot butt, and run around. Go.
And you do have a scorch mark on your ass, definitely. It hasn't. None of that damage has gone over to your physical form, but it definitely hurt. Definitely felt it in your bear form.
Death
So
and silence.
do we bundle up the scimitars for later on to sell?
I was kind of thinking maybe we could use the robes for disguise later for something.
Not small enough.
Well, they work for some of us, Mr. Stib. We could. I don't have any skill in sewing, but maybe someone could trim them up for you shorter ones.
You could hide underneath someone's.
How many cloaks are there? 'Cause if I remember correctly, 3 of them burnt.
Oh, well, never
Indeed,
mind.
yes.
And I know one of them's got a hole through it.
Yeah, there was 4 that were slightly incinerated. So there would be 4 intact.
With Zedriel's suggestion, Karnos just starts going over and folding them up nicely into nice even bundles, 4 of them, and puts them in his pack. Do you guys want me to pack these scimitars as well?
Well, we can do 1 or 2 things with the scimitars. We could sell it, make some money, which should be good. Or we can give them to the guard to help defend the city.
It's a good idea.
And
Or we
they're
can sell
reasonable
them down and turn
scimitars.
them into something
Yeah, I mean,
better.
Karnos, you looking at them, they're a reasonable. They've been reasonably made. They're not rusty. They're not great either. They're not like top notch or anything like that. But they're definitely serviceable.
Well, I want 1.
All right,
Didn't
you
you s-
take 1, I'll take 6.
No, you'll need to carry it. I can't carry it too big for me.
Okay,
But I
well,
can turn it into something else.
Give
right.
it to Emilia to carry. She can be our pack horse now.
Emily is like, I'm not picking up any weapons right now. Not at all.
It's fine, I can carry them. I don't have an issue. I can carry more than enough. As long as I can fit them across the top of my pack with a bit of strapping.
I would say you'd be able to. I
There's
mean,
enough roping.
the
You
weight
could
would.
wrap them up in a robe.
8 of them
Yeah.
it should be. I mean, if I spread 4 this way and 4 that way, wrap them in the robe and tie them central of my pack, it should keep me in fairly
I
good
mean,
balance.
they would. I mean, 8 of them would be a fair weight on top of your pack, but I think Karnos would be strong enough to carry it.
I have encumbrance on, so it will tell me.
Cool. So, do you leave the bodies in the road, or what do you do with the bodies?
Send them off to the side. Just leave them where they fucking are. Stop them.
Well, I believe Emilia can put them under the dirt. Can you not, Emilia?
I can. Would you like me to do that, Zedriel?
Okay, if you want.
Emily is going to use mold earth and basically lift the ground up so that they sort of roll down into a pile at the end of the side of the road. So basically the ground lifts up so that they roll down the hills.
It'll take a little bit of time to achieve it, but eventually you are able to bury them.
When they're in a pile, then pull the dirt out from underneath them and put it back in on top of them.
So it will probably take a few castings. Because like 8 or 9 bodies, it's going to be a reasonably big hole. I mean, you're not going to bury them deep, but enough to cover them so that they may not smell, maybe. But it would take a few castings of it, but eventually, after maybe 35, 40 minutes, be able to bury the bodies to your satisfaction.
As this is happening, Adam would like to call out to Emilia.
Go for it.
And he will say, "Are you sure you don't need to like do a vampy thing, like drain their blood or something? Maybe that's a good idea, because didn't you say you were going to kill us all or something?"
I don't know if I need to.
Right, fantastic. Never mind.
At
keep
this
going.
point, at this point, I mean, the smell of the blood definitely is in your nose. You can smell it, but you're able to resist at this point.
Once the hole's filled in, she's gonna make the mark of her deity on top of the pile, as she has in the past, or on top of what the hole where they were buried.
No drama, easily enough done. So you are now ready to continue your journey towards the winery, which is marked on your map, in the task that Erwin Martikov has tasked you with. And we will call our story there for the evening. And we will rejoin our heroes next week as they continue their journey towards the winery. Well, guys, well done. So as per what we normally do at the end of our D&D sessions, we're going to go around our party and get some moments from everyone about pretty much what happened tonight. It was an interesting night for roleplay indeed. Again, I'm gonna use the same format we used last time. I'll get everyone to basically pick a moment from themselves first, and then a moment from someone else. And it doesn't matter if you choose the same one. I know everyone's going to bring up the Strahd and Emilia conversation because that was freaking amazing. But we'll go around everyone. So we're going to start with Emilia. Mr. Drax.
Well, I know that the Strahd thing's going to come up, but I'm going to say that my moment for myself is the fact that that's actually the first attack that I've actually ever made.
It is.
So
it is indeed.
It's a whole new world.
Dude, I mean...
and it actually hit. It's not an attack that he did. That did nothing.
You actually did something. It was great.
Like, before that, the only thing that I hit was a lock of a chest.
That's right. It was too. And a moment from someone else. Something that stood out, whether it's a role play, story, whatever.
The whole adult taking offence to Emilia, just rubbing it constantly in her face. It was just like, it was cracking me up. So, I'm taking your shit. I hate you. I'm fucking taking your shit. It's mine now.
Definitely. And yes, chat. A favourite Emilia moment from the chat too. If we get some comments in the chat, we'll read those out very shortly. But yes, Emilia's the whole thing with Emilia tonight was interesting, to say the least. I was not sure where it was going to go, but I think we come out with a pretty good set of role play situations across the board. So we will carry on down that row, and Mr. Fibblestib.
Best part for me would be this is going to be good. When Emilia was trying to convince us that we shouldn't kill her on the spot.
Yeah.
And then Karnos is almost trying to cut her head off. I'm sitting there going, where's he going with these coins? It's like, he wants to cut his head off. That's ingenious. I like it. But yeah, just that. Like all the other banter stuff is normal. So
yeah, definitely. And Zedriel, a moment from you, please.
Still trying to think of stuff. I got to explode another head. That's positive, right? And
Definitely.
I liked pretty much everybody's gonna cover it. But I think everyone was really good. So I like everyone's comebacks to Emilia, like, oh really? And they'd always have something snarky to say. So
I kind of expected that, but pretty good. De Mortem, mine was Skaithus trying to put everything back as it was being taken. It's definitely a moment that was probably not going to work considering the situation, but hey, we've got to try these things. Speaking of skaters, a moment from you, please.
So the fact that I was willing to defend Emilia.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was kind of odd considering how it started, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I figured that I'm not the type of person to commit murder unless unless it's directed at me.
Well, yes, I think with Skates' backstory, I think his empathy towards Emilia was definitely going to be a thing, and I think you showed it pretty well. And the fact that you have kind of a thing going with Adok too, so to keep that going was kind of cool.
So I'll say it. Adok and Emilia, well, not Adok, Strahd and Emilia in the jail, that was fucking awesome. But I'd have to say the best part was Zadriel and those bloody eyes.
Yes, I think we have to mention that, chat. If you're looking for some easy cosplay for D&D, Snap Camera. Zadriel is using Snap Camera to change the color of her eyes, and it looks freaky as fuck. It looks awesome. So next up, Mr. Adok, roasting chicken.
Yeah, I think I like to pride myself on trying to be as linear as possible in terms of what's happening, moments moving forward. As in, you know, Adok himself wasn't just going to let it be, oh, Emily has done this, it's fine, you can have all your shit back. It's no. I don't want this shit happening.
Hell no.
Taking everything.
It's hell no, it's mine now.
Yeah, and just being factual, just like, this is what happened, so this is why I'm acting this way, because you did X, Y, Z.
Yeah, definitely.
Sort of thing.
And a moment from someone else.
Yeah, no, I really, really liked Zadriel's use of branding and the Warhammer on the stump and just the sheer intimidation towards Emilia. I was like, I think if that doesn't leave an impression, I don't know what will. The next is probably death.
Definitely. And we have Mr. Carnos.
Better unmute myself. From myself, I guess for me it was the stump. When we were walking through town, and I'm like, I've got a friend test. I felt like I jumped into Hit's mind for a moment there for a second. I thought, shit, I actually don't have a friend test. I have nothing in my mind at all. And during the narration of getting to the wall, I was like, fuck, I'm going to make it look like I'm going to try and chop her head off, and I was just sort of that biscuit thing where you have a biscuit on your eye and you wriggle it around your face. I thought, oh, put some coins on the stump and try and make her pick it up with her face. Yeah, that'd be cool. It was all sort of on the spot, and it kind of worked pretty funny.
It did. It worked really well.
And of course chopping the arm off and heads and stuff again, that's always good fun. The others, there's so much. You guys, I had something for everyone tonight. Especially with the conversation with between Drax and Cam, Zarevich and Emilia. I think the excerpt of that, which was my favorite, was Emilia's retort, which basically says, well, I'm not of this, I'm not of that. I didn't have time to write it all down, but she says, you know, I'm against you, I'll take my chances with the party. And I just felt like it was almost like a revised line from a movie or something. It was so good. It came out so well. It was, yeah.
Definitely.
And then just, yeah, god damn, that whole thing was good. But then Fibble just beat it with, oh, so you're a Moonsy bar. Fuck, I nearly wet myself laughing when he said that.
Yeah, I was going to mention that one as well. It's just like, fucking hell, man.
Oh, so you're a Moonsy bar. I lost my shit, eh?
Oh, gosh, yes. So, for me as a DM tonight, I think... I think this is kind of behind the scenes type stuff, not so much for what happened tonight, but from a DM helping a player perspective, Drax came to me after last week's session and was concerned, had some concerns. We had discussed a certain way that his character was going to be played for this campaign, and initially it was he was intending on playing a more short game. He wasn't sure how he was going to enjoy Dungeons and Dragons, or whether how he was going to enjoy the role play and things like that. And it turns out he really, really enjoys D&D and really, really wants to continue to play his character. And he's going to me, they're really going to kill me, aren't they? And I said, well, anything's possible, dude. Honestly, anything is possible. I said, but if they do, we're early enough in the campaign, we can definitely roll another PC. It's not sort of out of the question at this point in the campaign. I said, but you have your backstory. Now that I have your full backstory, I understand a lot of what's happened. Now it is up to you on whether you want to continue this campaign with the group, and how you deal with it is going to be how you deal with it. So I think it was just trying to reassure him that, yeah, it's all on you, dude. You're going to have to do a certain amount of things to convince the party to keep you alive. I don't feel that the party would have killed you outright, because I don't think that fits with a lot of the characters in the party, potentially. Again, circumstances being circumstances, you just don't know.
I reckon Enoch would.
At this now, definitely. At the beginning, probably not so much, but now definitely. But like I said, it was one of those things, trying to reassure Drax as a player that hey, the dice will roll as they do, the chips will fall where they lay. But you're not out of the campaign if your character dies. I mean, we do have options, but you got to come clean if you want to stay alive, kind of thing. So I commend Drax on making the decision he made, and the way that you did it, I thought was really well done. Especially from, again, a new player to D&D completely. I mean, this is your first campaign. I think you've done exceptionally well. And as far as a moment from the game in general tonight, for me personally, obviously, everyone is in agreement that the Emilia Strahd conversation just was phenomenal. Cam playing Strahd, starting in with perfect poise and control, and then that switch where we see the true Strahd come out. The Slavic accent comes through. His anger shines through, and you can definitely now. I mean, Emilia, more than anyone now, will understand that Strahd is definitely not a person to be messed with. Although I have to say, Zadriel's intimidation, even just killing a stump, the way that came across was creepy as fuck, and it came across intimidating as hell. And I still believe that most of the party, except for Fiddleston, would have been intimidated by that whole scene in action, because they don't know Zadriel very well. They've only been, I mean, you guys have only been together for less than 2 weeks in game. So you've only known each other for about 12 or 13 days. So to have that kind of seriousness and anger and emotion come through from a character, I think it would have been intimidating to most people, except for Fibble, who knows Zadriel reasonably well. Because I'm assuming people's probably maybe have seen that at some stage before with Zadriel, potentially. Definitely anger and frustration, I would say.
We're talking about in game or in real life?
I was going to say, we're talking about Yanti or Zadriel here. I mean, come on.
Either way, I've seen him.
But yeah, it was definitely anger, but there was frustration there as well. I mean, on her part, for sure. But I think the way the party handled the whole situation, even after getting back into Vallaki, sitting down and under Zone of Truth, with Emilia trying to sort of almost goad you guys a little bit, again, to try and turn it around on you a little bit. The way you guys handled that, I thought was pretty good. And eventually you move forward. Adoc's firing of the firebolt at the bear was hilarious. I didn't really expect that, but I kind of did at the same time. It was kind of ad hoc, really. But well done, team. I think another great session. Episode 25. So we've been running for almost 6 months on this campaign. Coming up to our 6 month episode next week. So it'll be episode 26. So this is going exceptionally well. I honestly thought we'd be further along after this length of time too. So the fact that we're not as far through the entirety of the story is a good thing. I think it's cool.
I think we're enjoying it too much.
Yeah, we're just enjoying the
Sound
camaraderie.
alerts aren't working during the D&D, guys. They only work for the gaming. But yeah, so I think it's going exceptionally well, and I think we're going to have. I think we're going to probably run almost as long as the homebrew, if not longer. So I think I'm really enjoying it. So obviously, this Friday and this Sunday there is no D&D, but next Friday, next Sunday there is. We've got Session 0, guys, for those in the chat and in the stream that are involved in the Icefire Peak. Friday night, around what sort of time are you looking at, Yanti? You want to get into Skype? And
Same usual time.
same time, about 7:30 New Zealand, 5:30 Aussie.
5:30 Aussie, yeah.
So Friday night, about 5:30 Australian, 7:30 New Zealand. Those that are involved in the Icefire Peak campaign, can you be available on the Discord so we can get through our Session 0 with our DM Yanti? And on Sunday, same thing, same time for the Sanctum mini campaign. For those that are involved in the Sanctum campaign, can we be available Sunday night, usual time, for again a Session 0 so we can finalise overlays and get through our table rules and bits and pieces again with Yanti DM.
Looking forward
she's
to it.
busy.
She's gonna be busy.
See?
So as I said, 5th of March, which is not this coming Friday, but the following will be the Session 1 for Icefire Peak, which will be streamed on Yanti's Twitch channel. So if you're not following Yanti1, make sure you go check her out, and make sure you hit the follow button. I think most of you in this chat already are, which is good. But there you go, Drax. We'll get a double shout out. So make sure you go do that, because that will be streamed only on Yanti's channel. I'm not streaming that campaign. I will be streaming the mini campaign, however. So we're going to be chucking up a link when the mini campaign starts, where you'll be able to watch both streams in one window if you wish. You do not have to. There's no requirement to do so, but it'll be available to you if you want to see from both perspectives. Yanti will be DMing. I'll be doing it from a player's perspective. So essentially there'll be the same people in cameras, just the overlays will be different. I will not be interacting with chat all that much at all on that, purely because it'll be Yanti DMing, so we'll try and keep the chatter to a minimum, obviously, and keep most of it to her channel. So it'll be good. So, that is it from us this evening. I believe we should probably rate someone. See who we got on.
There's this guy called Evil Doer TV. He's
You shut your hole. Every week.
Woodward Games has got something going on.
What's Woodward
if
up
I do
to?
it every week, it means that it's a constant thing, so it has to happen every week now. So
Well, fair enough.
bad luck. And the Arc server is up and running too.
Cool.
So
So Woodward Games is doing. It looks like he's doing some Stream Raiders. Stream Raiders and chatting. We'll go raid Woodward. We'll go chuck some viewers his way. So you guys can go have some Stream Raiders fun with him.
except for Grim, he's not allowed to do any more Stream Raiders.
Is that right? No more Stream Raiders from Grim. That's pretty rough, Grim.
No, his bloody character's too strong. It's got to let us everyone else level up a little bit.
So damn, Grim, you've been benched, buddy. Right, so we're going to start our raid. We're going to say goodnight, and we will see you guys. I will probably be back Friday night maybe after our session for some gaming. Maybe we'll see. If not, we'll see you guys next week for some gaming and some D&D. Bye.